Are you tired of being so confused? You feel like you're more fucked up than the lies on the evening news. Well, just step right in. We can talk about it all as friends. And if you want, we can hug and kiss and make up for the party ends. Agree or disagree, stop offering me. 'Cause I'm everything you want, damn sure what you need. I won't tell no lies, back up on the facts with truth. And if you can't get down with that, you must be somebody's stuff.
It's not Red Friday anymore, Liv.
Now it's all you, dude.
That is all me.
What's up, everybody? It's Ryan Weaver. I am on the Don't Unfriend Me show, otherwise known as The Dumb Show, with host Matt Spear. You guys can find the show at The Dumb Show on social media or thedumbshow.com.
Thanks, Ryan. It's always so authentic when he does that. Tariff-free, folks. Tariff-free coffee. Go get it.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
It looks like we're letting the cat out of the bag on a couple of things here because Mandy and Paul have already been here, and I'm still not going to say Paul's last name because I think I can only remember one last name at a time. And
Karafotis.
Whatever that is. And it's just whatever. And I've already had to be chastised for my complete failure from saying Kohler versus Kohler on Mr. Brad Kohler's name. So I'm just going to take it day by day and only remember one last name at a time, folks. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. Matthew Spear, Olivia Spear. We got, let's see, Chuck and Kathy coming in the house. They will be in studio, which is amazing. Two big fans of the show who helped build the studio as everyone else did. And it was amazing. 16th, we got Philip Hamilton. He's in the house. He's running for Senate in Virginia. Liv, who do we got on the 31st?
We actually, on the 26th, now we have Brian Cook.
Ooh.
And also just realized he's from Montana. I had no idea.
Oh. Okay.
And then March 31st, we will have Jessica Lynch in
Jessica
the house.
Lynch, hero, POW survivor. Amazing from the first Iraq War. And then we're working on a bunch of others. And then we're working on the older millennial, too. Has he gotten back to us yet?
No, I need to reach out to him.
He's
tomorrow.
been busy. There's been a lot of trolls on his page, like hitting him up. So he's fighting the good fight right now. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. Donations are available. Also, we're going to introduce our guest. Very, very excited.
We will do the jacket drawing later in the show.
Yes,
So you know.
because we forgot to do the wheel. So what we'll do is Mr. Kohler, then we'll do the drawing, and then we'll find out about the jacket, and we'll go from there since we had our jacket drawing last week. I want to introduce gubernatorial candidate Brad Kohler, MMA fighter, author, and now running for Minnesota state governor. Talk about throwing yourself into the fire. I mean, Minnesota has been in the news. There is a whole bunch going on, a real big quagmire when it comes to the state. The politics constantly in the news. You've got a very popular governor when it comes to, I guess that's what we could say.
Very popular.
Very popular, who can't fire a shotgun to save his life. I don't think Brad will have that issue, but we're going to get into it. We've got about 30, 45 minutes to get into this and have a great conversation, and we plan on doing that. First, help me welcome Mr. Kohler to the Don't Unfriend Me Show. Welcome, sir. How are you?
Oh, thanks, guys. I love your setup.
Thanks.
I've been on a lot of podcasts, and by far, yours got the coolest background.
Yeah,
Very cool.
I thought so. We thought so. That's why Benny Johnson stole it. So we changed three times. The first one we changed it. We're like, okay, Benny, whatever. Second time, I was like, okay, this is getting obnoxious, and he hasn't stolen this one yet. So we'll see if he does. No, we have a fond respect for the man. So listen, Minnesota. What this story is pretty crazy. I had a chance to thumb through the book. Now, I'm always honest. Every time I have a guest, I either read their book from start to front, or I'm very transparent with them and let them know I thumbed through it, or I didn't pick it up at all. I did a thumb through. I didn't have a chance to read the full thing because I was carrying a sickness for a few days, but enough to understand that you've had a life that deserves to be discussed before we get into all the politics. So why don't you give people the introduction to who you are, and we'll sit back and listen. Olivia and I will. By the way, my name is Matt. I don't know if we officially met.
Of course,
until
Matt. Hi,
now.
Matt and Olivia.
Hello.
Thank you. Great to meet you all. Thanks for having me on the show. Yes, Brad Kohler. I'm candidate for governor here in Minnesota. Former UFC veteran. I fought in the heavyweight division, and I fought all over the world for many top organizations, and did a little bit of pro wrestling as well. When I was done at 48 years old, I decided to take my life towards the business avenue. I've always been in the restaurant and the gym business, but I ended up inventing some boxing products and did very well with them. And I'll make it very quick because I know we don't have much time. But
we got as much time as you want. Let's put it that way. If you want to be here for 2 hours, we're here for 2 hours. It's up to you. I just try to put a little time limit on it, but we're at your discretion, sir. So take your time.
So I realistically got in trouble about 2 decades ago. Here in Minnesota, you don't have a defend yourself law. Okay, you matter of fact, if your home gets invaded, you're supposed to run out of your home here in Minnesota, and that's it kind of affected me personally because 2 decades ago I was never in trouble before. I came to Minnesota and started fighting and was doing real well, and I had my kids in the car one night coming home, and I had a 7-month-old and a 7-year-old, and pull into the store and end up potentially being carjacked by somebody, and they picked the wrong car. You know, I mean, it was a quick 30-second thumping, and I got my kids and got out of there, and they came after me, and again, the full story is in the book about how the whole thing. Then I had a couple hiccups after that as well that were, I believe, driven to because I was a target and being a public figure and all. They threaten you. They threaten to take your kids. They make a living forward their career on other people's back. And I learned the whole system because I've been through it, And again, the stories in the book, if people want to buy the book, I think it's a good story to if you read it. Talks about how our criminal justice system has no justice, and how it's really manipulated quite a bit. And I think we all kind of speculate that. Just kind of moved on with my life. I owned up to, hey, I can't sit here and dwell on this. I got kids to raise and places to be, and couldn't get a job, so I invented my own job. I invented several different boxing equipment, and I sold them all over the world and did very, very well with them. Opened up my gyms and restaurants, and then COVID hit, and there wasn't so much. I was upset that my businesses were shut down because between the manufacturing, my restaurant, and the gym, that was a trifecta for me. It was that my kids that were on scholarships were forced to take the medical shot, and that's what upset me. Was I thought our Constitution's being violated, and never been in politics before, understanding really, other than the fact of being through the criminal justice system, that this is wrong. And so diving into it, I immediately in 2020 said, the surrounding states are wide open and we're shut down. We're on curfew, we're on lockdown. Then, George Floyd hits and our city's in fire. And I'm like, that's it. I'm running for governor. So anybody can do better than this guy. And so I said in 2020, I'm running for governor. And so reaching out to a few people that are in politics, I thought, well, what do I got to do? And they said, that's a lot to chew off for your first campaign.
Oh yeah.
And I listened, I always like to listen to my mentors and say, okay, what do you suggest? And I did. I ran for Senate, I ran for Congress, and I ran for county commissioner on my own dime. I wanted to learn government to see what it's going to take to be the best governor that Minnesota's ever seen. Now, I've always been a fan of Jesse Ventura, and he did okay while I was here. He's a little different now, but he was a pretty good governor at the beginning there. And so I dove in. I really did. I did a lot of research, find out what we need to do, find out what it takes to grind. It's a full-time job. And after running 3 campaigns all the way through, I didn't stop. After the 22 election, I dove in right away on the congressional level. And right after I endorsed, after the endorsement convention, I didn't get endorsed. I moved right into the county commissioner level. And again, I didn't raise the big money to look impressive as a candidate. I focused on learning so that when I was ready to run for governor, I was ready. So I built a team. I got really involved with all the minority communities in the cities, which is St. Paul and Minneapolis, where they say is very blue. Well, now the leaders of all these communities are with my campaign, and I'm very well known within the Vietnamese, the Cambodian, the Lao, the Latinos. The Black communities endorsed me on Monday night with all 160 Black churches. The Hmong community has already endorsed me. So building that relationship with the minority communities was very important because I felt that was the numbers we needed to flip Minnesota. Following along with the Republican Party has been very difficult. I'm an outsider.
Are you running as a Republican or an independent?
I am running independent. Yeah.
Oh wow.
So
okay.
I was running with the Republican Party, and as I tried to show them how their plan is to fail, they wouldn't listen. They have no communication. Actually, they have no money. They're broke. And so not only they broke, but they have one of the candidates funding the state GOP, which is a complete conflict of interest as far as I'm concerned. And now they're pushing this one person because he is financially backing the state GOP. So it was one of those situations where I've always run as more of an independent conservative. And so although I feel that the Republican Party is a good party, we just have poor leadership. And I actually feel the same about the DFL. I think both parties have platforms that if they had good leadership, they could be run pretty well. But here in Minnesota, especially Minnesota, we have poor leadership on both sides. Okay. And so I felt right there, it's not about having a third choice. It's about being the only choice because both sides in Minnesota are tainted.
Right. You've got two, and we're not afraid to mention the candidates. I mean, nobody should. I mean, you guys have to face these in debate. You're going to have to fundraise them. You've got Amy Klobuchar as a Democrat running who has name recognition. She's been in the swamp forever. And obviously she's going to pull fast and hard because she's got the funding and back. And then you got Mike Lindell on the other side, who obviously
he won't make it.
Well, no. So you think you think a Republican, who do you think is going to take over?
They don't want him.
Who's going to,
he's got more debt and trouble following him right now. And it's all coming out in the wash here.
Right. So he's polling at 31%. So who's going to take over the Republican candidate then? I'm
pretty sure it's either going to be Lisa DeMuth or Kendall Qualls.
Okay. So that's going to be a pretty serious climb there. So they're going to have to seriously make some effort and some headway, but you're the independent candidate. So let's talk about you because I'm not a fan of Mike Lindell and I'm certainly not a fan of Amy Klobuchar.
Sure.
But I am a fan of a person who wants to impact change. So when you look at this, what are the three biggest problems facing Minnesota in your eyes? And what's the one you're going to tackle first? What's the first thing you got to go after? But what are the three big ones right now?
Well, it's safety and security in our borders and our streets, and fraud, of course, and then basically having a administration that's structured with, with guardrails to prevent the fraud and keep the alignment of our programs. So we don't have to shut down programs or really reduce government that much. What we need to do is, again, focus on bringing in new revenue streams and businesses here in Minnesota. So that way we don't have to keep raising taxes.
What do you think DeMuth is doing better than Lindell was? Because Lindell was the front runner. Now he's being pushed back. We see that. And I think the palette for Mike Lindell is a little bit off. I think the average Republican who is in Minnesota probably wants somebody who's a little more of a centrist, and he's way off to the far right. What do you think DeMuth has that is at least resonating with Republicans, and how do you want to get your voice out there to be able to say, here's what she's saying, but here's what I'm going to do? Like, what are you going to be known for?
So, well, me, I'm going to be basically known for the only choice. The same old's got to stop. This is truly the definition of insanity here. Lisa DeMuth, matter of fact, half the state didn't even know she was Speaker of the House, and she's running on that with another politician that is basically establishment, and so all that's kind of like people are starting to get educated. And right now, our GOP here, but what they did was try to run out some of the outsiders by having this major endorsement convention that you had to pay $5,000 as a candidate to come speak for 7 minutes, and $10,000 for the weekend if you want to put up banners and flyers. And then now the delegates have to pay $250 to get in, and so it's become a fundraiser. And so there's a lot of people here pissed off at the GOP, not to mention what happened with ICE and the whole Trump situation and what. So there's a lot of people here not real happy with the Republican Party, including 40% of the Republican Party.
Yeah, you've got DeMuth, you've got Qualls, you've got you have an opportunity here. You have a very large, broad selection of candidates in the GOP, which all have their own pockets of pull. This is a great opportunity for an independent candidate to come in there. So I listen, I don't want to just get down to brass tacks. I've worked on 2 gubernatorial campaigns, one of them in Wyoming. And I don't care how good your politics are. It's got to be funding. You have to go against at least Klobuchar, who's going to have the money. They're going to want to keep Minnesota. They're going to be buying ad buys all the time. Besides the grassroots marketing, like, where do you feel like you need to put and keep your powder dry so we get a little bit closer to that November timeline? Because we're a little far out, surprisingly. Most voters aren't even paying attention for another 2 or 3 months. But where are you keeping your powder dry? And then I know Olivia's got a bunch of questions for you too.
Yeah, sure. It's and Klobuchar is a strong candidate, but having a lot of friends that are candidates and elected officials with the DFL, I got kind of the inside scoop on just how unpopular she really is, and how they're trying to find someone to run against her. Okay, so we do have a window of opportunity here. And if you're familiar with the L2 data at all, the L2 data shows basically that we have 3.6 million registered voters here in Minnesota. 1.2 million of them are Democrats, 1.3 are GOP, and 1.1 are actually independent registered voters. Yeah, so we do have a three-way split here. And again, in Minnesota, an independent has run before and won. So it's not like it's something that hasn't been done. Yeah. So right now, the goal is to continue with the grassroots campaign, with the handshakes, getting out there. I did over 500 meet and greets last year. I grew my campaign and my team to 160 captains statewide. I've been to 87 counties. I have at least 2 captains in each county, growing meet and greets every week in those areas, continually branding the name and understanding that people can text me and call me. I'll talk to them. I respond to every social media message. I do my TikTok lives every Sunday and Thursday nights. That has a big reach. And then, again, my Facebook page has grown because I stayed away from the MMA background to grow my political background. My MMA page was a lot larger. I shut it down 5 years ago and went strictly political with it, so I can grow it organically as a legitimate public servant.
Just a quick one. If you need any help with anything when it comes to, sounds like you've got a TikTok background. That's great. But one of the things that candidates don't do, and they need to, is to get those 90-second hit clips where they take a current topic that's happening right now and you play that 15, 20-second soundbite, and then you respond to it as a candidate. Get yourself in your tie, sit in front of a great backdrop, American flag, and start communicating grassroots. Get a couple of those things to hit 2 to 3 million a pop, and then you start getting some groundwork. But if there's anything I can do to help you with that, our Facebook page is, you see it behind me, it's ready to hit 400,000.
Oh yeah.
We get a lot of interaction. We'd love to help you. I don't care about political party. That shit doesn't mean anything to me. So it's like, it's the candidate, and it's somebody who's honest, and the people who we support. Eli Crane is somebody who we stand behind, and he is a guy out of Arizona, Navy SEAL team, and there's several others that we really support.
Heard about him today.
Yeah. Eli's he's the man. We love him to death. Liv, I know you have a question about school choice.
Yeah. So pivoting to school, it sounds like your kids are older, but we have 2 kids in high school and middle school. So education is very important to me and us. So do you support school choice? And then what role do you think parents should have in their children's future in the school?
I do support school choice. I do support, bringing back the vocational training. I believe, I want to go to war against woke schools and dial it back a little bit and bring the real education back to our kids. I think parents should have a solid foundation when it comes to how your kids should be educated and not be kicked out of the classroom. But I mean, it's got to be that professional communication, though. We need the teachers to do their job, and we need the parents to make sure that they're making them accountable for that. And so, if they're not, we need to be brought to our attention, saying, "Hey, look, I tell you what, I have a kid still in high school. He's one of the best running backs in the state of Minnesota. And I tell you what, if the principal and the teachers brought them out for a protest, you'd hear about me on CNN." That will not happen, okay? They need to be in our classrooms where it's safe and protected. We need to make sure, of course, our schools are safe and have some kind of security. And we are dialing it back to where we're teaching them the fundamentals that are going to get them to college, not some of this other things that kids need to be kids. We need to leave the kids alone, teach them the basics, and, of course, have our advanced placement classes. All my kids were in advanced placement classes. We've had out of the 8 of them, we have 5 of them get academic scholarships. So when it comes to that, if they're not teaching the kids, I'm stepping in, or Libby's stepping in to make sure. Why are we teaching the kids at home? Why aren't you doing your job? So when it comes to that, I do believe that the parents should have a say so.
You follow up?
Yep.
Follow up?
No, that was a great answer.
Constitutional carry in Minnesota itself. You're a supporter of that?
Yes, I am.
How do you fight the special interest? Right. I mean, obviously this is tied into the school, because obviously the teachers union is extremely powerful in Minnesota. It's one of the most prolific PACs in the Rust Belt. They have massive amounts of influence on your state capital and the surrounding areas, whether it be Ohio and Illinois and Wisconsin. How do you tackle them? Because I have a feeling that constitutional carry and also fighting the teachers union is going to be a very similar argument. Is you're going to get a hell of a lot of pushback and blowback. So how do you address that part of the fight?
Well, Matt, you're comparing apples and oranges to the cheerleader that sells tampons or puts tampons in a boy's room to a guy who used to fight in cages. Okay, let me tell you, try to push me back. We've got to make sure that we have a very good moral plan that we can do that is for the people. Now, you want to talk about the far left and far right? They're the minority. The middle ground people are the majority. And that right there, I think we had a strong leader in there that says, listen, I'm not taking that. This is not how it's going to go. You can't bully me. Go back to your corner before I spank you. And that's what needs to be done, because that's what's been going on. And not to mention the backyard, behind the backyard deals, the behind the closed door deals, the fraud. I mean, we know that's been going on here in Minnesota. And these guys are sellouts on both sides. I don't have to sell you that they failed. So when you have failure at leadership, everything kind of goes to the wayside. So when you get strong leadership in there and they know that you're not a pushover, I think it's going to be a little bit more like, we got to go this way because that's the way the wind's going to blow.
Okay. Have you had any communication with the attorney general candidates or lieutenant governor candidates or anything like that? Or are you specifically just running an independent campaign, and maybe when you get a little bit closer and polling opens up that you'll start looking at other independent candidates who are running for those positions?
Well, I ran as a Republican in every gubernatorial forum last year. So I was in 22 forums last year with the other candidates. So I know them all very well. And, and, you know, I mean, even on the DFL side, it's not that big of a world, really, because we're always at the same events. When you go to the minority events, they invite both sides.
Right.
I make it a point to go up and introduce myself and let them know who I am. And of course, they know who I am, but I let them see me face to face. But it's not. I like to get along with everybody, but again, I'm not going to be pushed around.
Just two quick ones. So one of the things is you're right about the split, almost a 34 to 33% from Democrat to Republican, and the rest being independent. This is also exemplified in our country. However, in our country, it's a little bit lower for the Republican side, which is sub 27, and about 30% for Democrats, and then a majority are independent. The only problem is that the independents don't vote. That's the issue. How are you going to get independents to the polls to actually show up? Because you're getting these woke candidates, you're getting this DEI supplement, you're getting these PACs that are coming in and owning the field in Minnesota. And maybe in the federal election, that's because the Trump factor. I mean, the guy gets everyone to get out and vote. That's the great thing about Trump, but he's not going to be on the ticket in 2028. How do you get independents to get out there and vote?
That's a great question, and we've been working on that. So you got your Gen Zs and millennials that are a majority of the independents, because they're still, you know, not really motivated to vote until you give them a reason. When you bring them as part of the team and part of the future of Minnesota, and how I'm going to make sure that they understand how valuable they are for that change, we get those influencers to help us bring them to the table. And I think that's very important to do, because they've got to be the next generation that we hand the torch off to. So they got to understand now that hey, look, the generations ahead of us failed. Let's not repeat that. Let's get you guys involved. Let's get you part of the team. And I tell you what's been working great. I have scheduled campuses I'll be speaking at over the next couple of months here, doing book signings. And, you know, so that, and plus a lot of the male vote, you know, it's usually the women are the voters in Minnesota. And I love that, because, you know, especially on the DFL side, I've been gaining a lot of ground with, you know, most of the women, especially the soccer moms, they're very conservative except for that one issue. And they don't vote Republican because of that one issue. They want their rights. Well, I've always protected their rights and said I will not change that, because that's the law here in Minnesota. Unless you bring it to a referendum and want to change it, it's the law here in Minnesota. I'm not going to change that unless they want to try to change it. But no government official should try to change that or campaign on that. It's ridiculous. So
stay away from the 50-50 issues.
Yeah.
Stay away from it. There's a time to talk about it. And right now it's the state's decision. You know, it's the law of the land. And if you want to change it, codify it, change it. Until then, abortion is a horrible issue, because you can't have a zero-sum game, right? You can't sit here and say, okay, we can't have any, or everyone just gets to have every single, you know, opportunity to abort up to, you know, birth of the child. There is a middle ground. And
There's a middle ground.
there's a very simple, and it's amazing. That's when Trump switched that 18 months, he was pulling like crap. He was horrible. He was a dead, dying duck. And he went and took Nikki Haley's platform, and I scream it from the rooftops that the only reason Nikki Haley would be a benefit for the Trump is because of the abortion issue. He somehow heard that from somebody. I'd like to think it's me. It's not, but let's say it is. And when he took her platform, which is, listen, let's go ahead and give him that 12-week mark to 15-week mark, it opens up the constituents. Here's the one thing I'll tell you. You are the one thing that every other candidate does have. You're a man. There's no way to slice that other than you are a man. And if you want to look at the clinical, well, I'll tell you, brother, in this world today, people don't understand what a man is supposed to be. And you get to go ahead and inspire young men, and you shouldn't apologize for it. That's the thing you should run on. You should be running on, I'm strong. I know how to use my fist, but I also know how to use my brain, and help young men understand that their right to vote is the first step into intellectualism. It truly is. And without it, they're never going to make that connection. You know what I mean?
No, you're right. And as I talk about this in my seminars, is it's not about being a fighter or a great leader, but both know when to use their strength at the right time.
Yeah.
And so, in mentoring these people, and one thing that also helps me here in Minnesota is I've been mentoring felons for years. When the DFL here legalized felons to vote, I mean, I have a whole nother platform that opened up to me. That, oh my God, I'm helping and advocating for these guys and ladies to get jobs and be able to stop being punished so they can move their life forward and become productive citizens. I mean, there's a whole nother platform for me that opened up that, again, I want to see them, change their lives and move forward. The opportunities here in Minnesota have been shut down because of the administration we have. That's something that I am going to drastically change, and is offer those opportunities. And we've got to do some inspiration here. We've got to change those things. We one of the reasons we used to be so productive here in Minnesota, and I believe this, is we used to always be number 1 or number 2 in fitness. Now we're down to 20.
Right.
And we need to get fitness back, beat people off the couches, get the gyms back open up, get people active.
More pond hockey.
And I think that
more pond hockey.
Yes.
And
yes.
maybe Minnesota can actually win a cup someday. I'm an Avs fan. Don't give me any shit. It's not gonna. Just don't start. I'm an Avalanche fan. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say.
It's all right. It's all right.
Listen, one thing, and then Olivia's got a big one for you. One recommendation: don't get caught up into the New York race. Don't try to run against. That was Cuomo. And he focused on Cuomo, and I'm like, don't focus on the Republican, right? You're the independent. You got to let your staff handle that shit. Let your press secretary handle that stuff. You go after the policies. You go after the crookedness, the corruption, because I think that's what a lot of candidates do as an independent. They try to run against the Republican. It's like, that's not the person you're trying to go for. You're trying to go after the Democrat. Yeah. You're going after the Democrat. You know what I mean? That's who you need to go after. Liv, go for it.
All right. So a hot button topic in Minnesota right now is the whole ICE thing. What are your thoughts about ICE, and do you support ICE coming in? Ooh. And would you, if you were governor, would you support ICE coming in and work with them? So
like federal prison systems.
Exactly. Yeah. So what has happened in the past in Minneapolis and over Minnesota will not happen again.
Well, I'd say that's an easy question. And again, it goes right back to our leadership puffing his chest out against Donald Trump. And we got 2 leaders that are pushing their chests out to, because they're egos. And we have a woke agenda here in Minnesota that they're trying to defend rather than obey the federal and state laws. Now, of course, I would have ICE come in if I needed them. I mean, but what I would say is, look at people, ICE is coming in. We're going after the criminals. Stay out of their way or you'll be locked up too. And I would never tell my people to get out there and fight against federal officers. That's the worst thing you can do. And that's why Minnesota got such a black eye for that. There are people that are dead because of our leadership here. Okay. They inspired them to go out there and defy law enforcement. That is completely wrong. So I back the blue 100%, whether it's federal or state or county. And I tell you what, if people got in the face, I was just talking about this on a podcast yesterday. We see these people that get arrested because they don't comply. I would love to see the ones that people comply and cops go, well, thank you for making it so easy for me. You have a great day. I'm going to let you off with a warning. How about seeing some of those videos? I mean, because everybody wants to fight back, and we're always looking for a victim or a villain. And we've got to stop that here in Minnesota. And so again, that comes from leadership. We've got to say, no, that is not okay. You will follow the federal and state laws, or you will pay the price too.
How's your endorsements with city, state, local police?
Everything's good. I mean, Chris Madel just got out, and I'm looking to get. I was endorsed by the MPPOA before. I'm looking to get that endorsement again, and the local sheriffs now that Scott Jensen's running mate was a sheriff, and she's actually a friend of mine. So I'm looking to get those as well. I've been doing the crawl, walk, run approach here with this, and we're getting ready to start running here pretty soon. So building my team, building my connections and networks, and making sure we have the right people that are loyal to this cause and understand that, hey, look, there's only one choice, not a third choice. There's one choice, and that's not the same old, same old.
All you got to do is get 10%, brother. You get noticed. They'll start talking to you. I mean, hell, and listen, maybe it's not governor. Maybe they come at you with lieutenant governor. Maybe they come in here and they put you in another position. But either way, getting noticed, getting that number up to 10, 12%, that's going to be the key. I love the way you're talking. I love where your head's at.
I do have a follow-up question.
Yeah, go for it. And then I want to talk about the Constitution.
So following up with that, and you said that you would make sure your constituents follow the law. How would your cooperation with ICE be? Not just if they wanted to come in or if you needed them. How would you work if they said, hey, we need to come in?
What do we need to do, guys? Ladies and gentlemen, what do we need for you? What do we need to help you do your job better? And how can my officers help you? How hard can that be? That's where I am.
Good question.
That's a very good answer.
Good answer. Good question.
Yep.
How do you grow the economy in Minnesota without growing government? And I already know Minnesota is one of the highest states as far as revenue and overall economic growth. However, jobs, taxes, and overall COLA is killing you guys. Housing prices are killing you. Job growth is killing you. How do you do that without increasing the government?
Well, my big plan right now is to, of course, open up the mines up north in the Iron Range. That's a big revenue stream. Oh my gosh, you saw a cat come up there.
Listen, you'll see kids run by, dogs,
you'll
cats.
See a dog. That Yenny will come.
This
back
is
up
our
again.
house. It's our house, man. This is an extra room in our house that we built. So it's like you'll see it all here.
We up in the Iron Range, we have mines up there that have lithium, cobalt, copper, helium, gold, silver, emeralds. We have helium, I think I mentioned that, and one of the largest iron ore supplies in the world, which is American steel, actually Minnesota steel. And that's $3.5 to $4 trillion of money in the ground. And to get that really functioning correctly, it's going to take 200 plus businesses to sustain that mine. And that's going to be about 65,000 people making anywhere from $75,000 to $100,000 a year. Now that's another $50 to $60 billion a year to our tax revenue. Okay, not just to mention we have $3 trillion of oil underneath us that we need to deregulate and tap into that. There's another 30,000 jobs right there. So there's 100,000 jobs right there that are anywhere from $70,000 to $100,000 a year. Now that'll really change our economy right away, and also give us that revenue to make those changes for, making sure we have secure schools, more law enforcement, better mental health facilities, veterans facilities. I mean, if you look this up, it's called the Magnus Foundation in Dayton, Minnesota. It is a beautiful resort for veterans. I want 9 of those going. I mean, it's a really nice place for the veterans to make that transition and get migrated into the public again. If you look it up, it's called the Magnus Foundation. It is beautiful. And this is what I want to do. So, but we need revenue streams. On top of that, what we also need to do is we have a captive audience with people that we need to put to work. And those are our justice impacted people that are capable of working, that are incarcerated. I want to put them to work. of course, with ankle bracelets, and in a workhouse setting, whether it's warehouses, farms, manufacturing, wherever, make them pay their own institutional fees. Get them to change those habits, routines, and rituals of becoming a better criminal, and migrate them back into society being productive. This will also help reduce reoffending. So these are the things that, and I have a whole list of things that I want to do. And again, a staff that's going to help me see it through. So it's really about, making sure we have a business plan in place. We have the plan in place. Okay, we've hit this benchmark. Now we go to this benchmark. It's got to be forecasted like this, not like what's going on now with these nonprofits. You throw this money out to a nonprofit, which you've seen here quite a bit lately, and of course they come back to you 6 months later because they ran out of money. Well, that's not a business plan. That's not the way to do things. So I'm against the nonprofits and NGOs that really do nothing for our economy. I would like to see more of a banking system go where, hey, if you want to own a legitimate business, let's say, Matt, you work at McDonald's and your owner's selling the business. Well, we'd like to co-op with you. How about we help you run that store, buy it for you, you run it, and now you're paying the loan back to us, and the taxpayers getting paid back. These are called SBA loans that are federal, but they're not done on a state level because basically the money's there, but no one's using it because the nonprofits are too easy to do. And that's what we need to do. We need to make sure our taxpayer dollars are getting paid back.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily limit the size of government, but I understand that SPAs are a part of lighting the cauldron, so to speak, to get the fire started. And it's great. It's good for small business growth. It's good to deregulate. And I agree with you 120% that it can be used at a state level in moderation, as long as it's not in a place like Minnesota, which essentially corrupts every single federal and state dollar that they collect. My question comes to you is that Tim Pawlenty wanted to do the same thing. He was interested in mineral rights and expansionism when it came to those mineral rights. The only fortunate thing is that having a high native population, you have one of the largest EPA restrictions on your state. You have the water tables, you have the deforestation policies that stop this, zoning laws. How in the hell are you going to fight the EPA and fight the Green parties and all the natives who will not allow you to drill, not allow you to deport those or export those minerals, because this has been tried before? I just don't know how you're going to do that.
I've already been working with the natives, and they really, one of the things that they want to see more than anything else is our borders protected, because it's their people that are being human trafficked, and so I'm like, well, let's work together on this. I mean, we've got to build our economy. We got to save our people. So we're number 3 in the country on human trafficking, and it's a lot of natives. They are very passionate about this, and they're supporting me, and they want to see this done. They understand that we need to grow our economy again. They want to put their people to work because the reservation's dying. There's no economy up there, and they need something. So I have been working with them. I've been talking to them for over a year.
It's a good answer. It really is. I mean, you got to convince them. I mean, I've been trying to say that about Native Americans. We're from Albuquerque, Arizona. We spent a lot of time in the native areas, and it's like, listen, the reservations are not the answer. Yes, that's where your culture is, but do you want to die for your culture? You've got to expand into areas where you can become productive, that innovation works, that you have a place, so you can either save nature or save yourselves. And I think it's a good argument. I'm interested to see if you can get it done. It's lofty, but like I said, it's trillions of dollars. I mean, Minnesota's got to go ahead and figure, how do you go ahead and balance protecting nature, protecting the timberlands, protecting the native lands, but also realistically keep up with having 2 very large cities that are a complete suckhole on every other county in the entire state. And that's the truth. You got to solve the city problem. And that hasn't been solved anywhere in the United States. I mean, can you think of a city that's been reformed when it comes to liberal policy over the last 75 years? Which city rose from the ashes? I can't think of one. Detroit, Chicago. You can look, maybe Miami. Miami is probably one of the only ones. So, I'm not here to have you knock on Minneapolis or anything. I'm just saying that a lot of these Democratic strongholds are really a burden on the overall growth of these states. Livy.
Well, I tell you, Matt, we have 2 daughters and 6 boys. My goal is to be able to put my daughters on the light rail downtown, be able to let them go shopping down there again and see a game or a sporting event or have fun and come home safe. That is my goal.
Yeah.
Yep.
And right now it's like, we've got a war on our hands. And believe me, I'm ready to go to war.
Yep.
That's a good
Well,
question.
that actually goes right into my question right there, is with the rising crime happening in the major cities in Minnesota. How are you going to lower that crime rate and make the community safe again, where you feel comfortable to let your daughters on the train in the middle of Minneapolis?
Absolutely. Again, I've been working on this for a long time, and I see a lot of potential law enforcement officers that are sitting there not able to work because they have a justice impacted life. And so for me, why can't I get 3,000 that are nonviolent criminals in law enforcement as auxiliary cops to help our cops until they're full police officers, and while they're being trained, use our National Guard? We've got to get control of our streets and build our law enforcement back up. Now, police officers, that's a good job. We stop people from allowing them to move forward their life because they have a background. Well, we got to stop thinking like that and use, I call it, like I said, my captive audience, because they want to work, but we keep saying no to them. And we've got to make some changes, and some hard decision changes, because there's a lot that you will never even get out of jail. We know that. But there are people that want to start their lives over again, and we've got to stop stopping them and let them do it and say, here's some opportunities. Okay, well, we have law enforcement, we have EMTs, we have fire department. We need help. And one of my goals is, again, day one, is to have zero business taxes to bring businesses back, because downtown Minneapolis is a ghost town. It's a ghost town. There's like literally no business down there anymore. And so how do we do that when it's unsafe? We need help. Now, who knows criminals better than cops and criminals? Okay. And you got people now that, they're a little thicker skinned, they're a little tougher, but you know what? They're not afraid to go walking down there. And you know what? Now they're in law enforcement that want to help rebuild Minnesota. I've talked to thousands of them. They want the opportunity. They want to help rebuild Minnesota. We got to give them that chance.
Okay. Yeah. Speaking of National Guard, would you support if President Trump said he wanted to bring the National Guard into Minneapolis? Would you support that?
Well, activate the National Guard from Minneapolis is what he would have to do. He can't federalize Washington, D.C. into Minnesota.
Got it.
Yeah, I would say you wouldn't have to. I could do that myself as a governor. I mean, it's if we needed it, I would ask our National Guard, we need your help right now. We're going to activate you, and here's what our plan is to work, with our police officers in backing them up, but not particularly as police officers. I think that having that appearance on the ground is intimidation enough.
One of the things that I think, when you talk a lot about rehabilitation, and I believe that to an extent, nonviolent offenders, what your belief is on that. I just kind of go into the sense of, I don't want to take risk on people who are, 3-4 time felons, but people make mistakes, and they deserve a chance to at least get to a place where they can be productive in society and a benefit to society and themselves. So I'm with you on that. One of the things I think that a lot of politicians do and they fail at is that they don't understand the railroad track mentality when it comes to cities versus the rural and suburbs. Is that when they try to retroactively increase business expansion, bring business back, they never go ahead and address the inner cities. And they always keep it on the west side or the north side of the tracks, and they ignore the south and the east and the older parts of town. And if there is one model that I would recommend, if you have a chance to take a look at, is 5 Points in Denver, Colorado. And this was a heroin prostitution capital of the world. I mean, not the world, but Colorado. Sorry. I mean, but you get my point. The point is, it was a shithole, and it was a horrible, horrible place. And they literally removed the squatters, removed the drug dealers, and then they took the people in the town who were the decent citizens, who had made some mistakes, who got tied up into things because they had no other choices, but made them co-op partners in businesses. And they incentivized these corporations to come in with a lower tax rate, offered them security and refunds on their security and tax breaks on their security so they could bring businesses into the inner city. I grew up in the hood. that's, I'm a white boy, but I'm also 6'4" and 220. So I grew up in those areas. I grew up on the Avenue in Ventura, California. So I understand the struggles, and I understand that the inner city is left behind. This is a really big opportunity for you. And if you really want to expand into maybe not just the people who've had run-ins with the criminal areas of the law, but who have the potential to run into those and get that proactively addressed, I think people will rally around that. How do you go ahead and share? You know what I'm saying? You got to build homes in some of these areas. And yes, it's high crime, but if you don't build homes, they're going to continue to rob the homes that are on the outsides of the rail tracks. And this is the problem. So it's just some feedback, and you don't have to listen to some podcaster. I just think if people were more genuine with people in the inner city, we could turn the Democrat vote towards you, because they haven't done shit for those people in 75 years all across the United States, and they need help.
Well, not only will I clean up and get the city, the crime out of the city, but we're going to try to bring back, the beginner family housing and help them rebuild the city with young couples that want to build again. And some of the, north side, south Minneapolis, where, some of these houses have been condemned and run out. And so, and as far as our homeless and the drugs and stuff like that, we're looking at places just outside the cities where we can have facilities where they can have, places like a cafeteria, showers, and kind of like a separation system of severe mental health and someone who's needs to be, hey, we can get this guy back into civilization kind of thing. And so we have a plan for that. It's and again, I'm trying to be not vague here, but quick.
No, you're doing fine. It's fine.
We need to make sure that we do get them out of there. We separate them in a way that, the severe traumatized and the mentally disabled, we need to put them in a place where, they're being taken care of. And again, without a revenue stream to help with that, and I'm tired of taxes being raised by our tax, we're tax of death here, and we're tired of it. So, once we get this other revenue streams going, the taxes will start lowering quite a bit. And but we got to find a place for the homeless and the people that are addicted to drugs. We got to clean up our streets. We got to make it a welcoming place again for businesses that it's going to be safe, that they can operate a business. And building our police force is very important to me to do that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Those businesses, instead of offering them 0% on taxes, offer them incentives. The more you invest in the PIF and the property improvement style of the business, the better it is for you economically, because you're going to basically breed your own pipeline of talent by rehabilitating the community. These people have choices. They can work at Taco Bell, they can work at McDonald's, or they can work at Burger King. So maybe not a 0. Maybe it's like, listen, we start off at a 12% and we bump it down 2.5% for every time you invest this much into the community. But this is where I see Donald Trump making a mistake. You got all these data centers being built, you have all these areas, but you're building on a mountain of unfortunately of refuse, and you're building it on a swamp. So you got to have a strong foundation. You got to start from the grassroots. And if every community isn't producing, then they're ultimately removing wealth from the state. And this is the conundrum we're in. We got to get Democrats out of these cities, man. The only way to do that is to rehabilitate these people by giving them choice, giving them option, giving them careers.
Sure.
I'm with you, man. Liv, you follow up, and then we'll do last question.
I do have one. Okay. So with all the fraud that's coming out in Minnesota right now, what would you do to bring that down and to ensure people that it won't happen again, as well as if it is found that there are people in high places or powerful people that were behind this, what would you do to ensure that they were not like punished, but
she wants him in prison, man. She wants to see some handcuffs.
Oh, hey,
hey,
listen, I'm with you on that one. So yeah, we need more guardrails. We need weekly auditing. We need our own Doge here. And I plan on using a lot of our college kids as Doge personnel, like from William Mitchell Law School and Hamlin Law School and St. Thomas and the University of Minnesota. And get the best, the students that are looking for internships that want to be want to find the next best sliced bread kind of thing. They, ambitious young people that want to be part of fixing our system. Find me the dirt, find me the money, and get rewarded. Hey, you find me where that money went, and then we'll get it back. And for that, we'll kick you a little bonus for your college loan kind of thing, you know. But I want to inspire kids to help us get involved with fixing this. So working with these college kids coming in here and being our forensic accountants, I think would be inspiring, and getting that money back. I don't believe in this. It's called the judges get the absolute immunity, and then the
Qualified immunity.
Get qualified immunity. I don't believe in that. I think that, you know, I would wipe that off my sleeve the second I got elected, saying I want to be held accountable. I want to take ownership of my role, and I'm going to make everybody take ownership of their role. And you know what? You know, Trump called our governor here the R word. My R word is going to be resign, because I'm going to make it very, very hard for you if you don't do your job. And that's the problem that we have here. We hired all these DEI people during a shutdown. We had a shutdown for 3 months and another 3 months. And while we have a government shutdown, we increased government by 40%. Now, I don't know what business does that. So, and then this is at the time we have an $18 billion surplus. Now, our fraud is not over yet. We have an education system that's 40% of our budget. We have schools closing. Some of them are bankrupt. And now they want to build new schools. That's got fraud written all over it. And when 40% of your budget is on a failed education system, where is this money going? So I believe that this is the next thing coming out, and we're preparing for that here as well. But how do we stop that? Audit. And before a check goes out, we send our college doge out, investigate, make sure that this is going on, make sure that there's, operations, videotape, pictures, interviews, make sure that this is going on. This is the taxpayer money, and I plan on having full authority of accountability.
Wouldn't it be nice if that right before we decided who we were going to vote for, that you had to take 2 people from each county in your state, and you had to have a town hall, and they would set the expectation for crime, the expectation for the budget, expectation for overall tax revenue, expectation for, and they would set those expectations and give y'all who are about ready to get in office a list of what the expectations were. And at 1 year mark, you come back and you have that group sit in front of you. And if you have anything less than a B average, you're fired.
Yes.
Wouldn't that be a beautiful thing?
Yes,
but
absolutely.
That's tomorrow. Today, we're going to do something else. I got the last question for you, then you get last word, as much time as you want. How does God interdict into your governance?
Well, I'll tell you, it was God that brought me this mission. And I was, like I said, never in politics, but over the past, I'd say 25 years, my spirituality has gotten stronger and stronger in my beliefs that, I listen to the universe on what I'm supposed to do. And so, I'm not afraid to go out there and put it out there and risk it all, because I know that, I have the best person in the world that's got my back. And regardless if I fail or not, it's okay. I'm not going to quit. And that's the difference between a winner and a loser. A winner never quits. So, I started this 6 years ago, and I said I was going to run for governor then. And every mission I've ever taken, whether it's through high school and what have you, even when people said, I said, I'm going to be a UFC fighter. They said, you're crazy. I went, well, according to my last psych evaluation, yeah. But, it's like, but people go, you're crazy. You're going to get killed. You're 5'7". You're da-da-da-da-da. There's no way you're going to go out there and get killed. And it's really all about watch me. So when I say I'm going to do something, I really put everything into it. And sometimes it's kind of hard too, because, I don't go out and party. I've never really been that kind of person. And I work my 16, 17 hours a day. And sometimes I want to work more. When I invented my equipment, I was obsessed to make this work, because to me, I felt so strong that this was a great product and I had to get to market that I just couldn't sleep. And I didn't have a safety net. I didn't have a government check, and I couldn't get a job. So if I didn't make this work, my kids didn't eat. So I had to make it work. And so I grew it out of my garage until the businesses that I had prior to COVID. And when God gave me this mission, I knew where my path was. It wasn't about money. This is about an accolade that needs to be done. This is about the people of Minnesota, and not just that, but the taxpayers of the United States have lost their money because of our poor leadership here. And that's why I'm going independent, because it is on both sides.
You want to make money, become a mayor, a senator, or state legislature. You want to lose money, become a governor. Liv?
Yes, this is probably the most important question of the evening, and it's kind of a tradition on our show.
Here we go. Here we go.
Everyone's got to answer this question.
Oh my gosh, here we go.
Who does my hair?
No.
Do you prefer?
Not yet. You got to wait for the music. All right, ask your question.
Do you like pineapple on pizza?
Yes.
Yes.
The Hawaiian.
That's all I eat on my pizza. He doesn't. So it's been a big thing.
We've asked this question for 5 years.
Every single person. It's Hawaiian.
I gotta tell you,
Pizza wasn't invented in Hawaii. Okay, so moving on.
I get it, but actually, I'm having pizza tonight. The Sicilian pizza I'm having tonight. Matter of fact, for my dinner, we got the house alone tonight, and all the kids are gone, and I tell you,
there's no pineapple on Sicilian pizza.
I know, man, but I don't have it all the time. But
sounds like you're being a politician here, and you just should have been honest.
I tell you, who's got the best Hawaiian is Broadway Pizza. They have a really good Hawaiian.
Yeah, listen, I don't know if there's anything such as a really good Hawaiian pizza, but I do believe that there are different levels of quality of it. Like I'm just not a fan of it. That's okay. You don't have to be. And I love pineapple. And I love like chicken teriyaki with pineapple. I love pineapple. A pineapple upside down cake. I'm a fan. For some reason, I just can't. But it doesn't matter. It's an age-old thing. 5 years we've been doing it. Listen, I want to say thank you for this. Listen, I hope you come back. I hope when we get a little bit closer, I want to see those polling numbers up there. I want to get you on the debate stage. I believe Minnesota has some qualifications for that, and I want you to hit it. I want you to get up there. But if any way that we can help spread the word, just let me know. If you're in DC anytime, we're a hop, skip, and a jump from that. You can hop on over here and do it live. But we would love to have you on again and appreciate you for sure.
Well, guys, thanks so much. My website is bradkohler.com. I do send my book to help my campaign. It really does help. I will autograph it, send it to you. You get my trading card with it. On the back is
there we go.
Animal with the Road Warriors. He's was one of my great friends and training partners before he passed in 2020. And again, one of Jesse Ventura's old training partners as well. And so if you go to my website at bradkohler.com and subscribe, I do respond personally to everybody. You get my personal email and phone number. And I'd love I love building relationships and building my network, and appreciate all the help I can get.
You got it. Well, good luck to you. We'll stay in touch, and I'll be watching it closely. And just keep rocking and rolling. I appreciate you spending some time with us tonight.
No, thank you guys so much for having me on. Have a blessed
day. See you,
Thanks
Mr.
so
Kohler.
much, Brad.
Thanks so much.
Thank
we
you.
appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, good show. Nice to have some interviews like that.
Yeah, it was a great interview.
Yeah, I think
I feel like I actually added a little bit to it this time. I actually asked some questions.
You did great. You asked the questions perfectly. It was very fluid. I was very impressed. That's why I just let you go. You did great. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more substance on the last question. That was important for me. And I think it's important for somebody to be personally motivated by God, but I still also think that we need to bring God into more conversation. And if you're going to bring ethics and morality into politics, then who better to bring the person who established it for our country, which would be, God. Yep. And morality is defined by Christianity, and I think it's important to bring that, especially in a place like Minnesota, which is devoid a lot of it. But overall, I think there's a lot there. I would love to drill down in substance, right? Like what I would love to do is to facilitate a town hall or a debate, and really get granular on a few of those topics, because I think there's some lofty ambition there, but I think the heart's in the good place. And I do enjoy the positivity. I think also spending some time with the Constitution would be a good idea. Mm-hmm. I want to hear more about constitutionality. I want to hear more about the rights of the individual, how we're going to institute a republic in Minnesota, because right now it's a kangaroo court and banana republic in a lot of ways. It's interesting.
All right. We should do the wheel before we move on. And do
Yeah,
the rest of the show.
So let's do this. We've got a show to do, and we also, like you said, want to do the wheel. Why don't you put in a couple of donations real quick?
I can do that.
And because I know we've got them and we held on them for a better part of this morning.
Anonymous. Oh my goodness me. Brad, good luck in the election. Thanks for the common sense approach. Very refreshing. Hi, Olivia and Matt. Thank you very much. Anonymous.
Yeah, it was a good interview. Very likable guy. Oh, yeah. Where's the wheel?
Very easy to talk to.
Did you put it in his wheel?
What
did you put it in as? It's beautiful.
I think I put first March jacket drawing.
Oh boy. Go ahead. Do that.
Sorry.
I'm getting this done.
I can resend
see. You got to. What you got to do is tag it.
Tag it. Okay. Did you get it?
Okay. Did you tell people whose names got put in extra?
I sure can. They're actually. Give me 1 second.
What happened to my old wheel?
I don't know.
What the hell? My wheel's not right. Oh,
No.
Come on. Am I chrome here? What is going on? Oh, it's chrome maybe. Sorry guys, we're resetting.
Right, Thomas Austin, for our military, for the Lord your God is the one who goes with you to fight for you against your enemies, give you victory. Thank you very much.
Are you kidding me? It doesn't have my wheel.
Oh.
This sucks because I had it open. No. Gallery. Live. Oh, well, this is going to look horrible because it's not my wheel.
Oh. Okay, so the names, they got picked.
Yeah, why don't you talk for a second while I try to fix this?
So there was 12 extra names put in, and we had enough for 6 extra tickets. So they were randomly picked, and the 6 names that got entered are Tiffany Given, Tom Shin, Maria Medeiros, Kat Alkire, Janet Fortner, and Robin Chappelle.
How did you pick that so everyone knows?
I put all 12 names into Chat GPT and said, pick 6 names.
That sounds like that would work.
That's what came out. So I figured that would be the easiest way to do it. And there we go.
Okay. I think I got it close to what we wanted.
Yeah, that's weird how it...
I don't know why I did this. Doesn't make any sense, but that's okay. This is fine. This looks good. Okay.
All right. I got one more donation we'll put in real quick while you're putting that up. Charity Lamb, thank you very much. We do appreciate it.
All right. Looks like we're going viral on something behind us, too. You keep hitting the table, by the way.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Saved a local. Oh, my gosh. Dumb wheel. Save. Yeah. Hit allow. Okay. All right. And we're going to open. Okay. And we're going to hit cancel. And then we're going to share it. Continue. Continue. Copy link. All right. Here we go. Sorry, guys. I can promise you this. It's not going to sound as good as it always does. And I apologize. But we're just going to get it done. All right, here we go. By the way, jackets, tell them. Jackets were ordered.
Yes. Oh, jackets were ordered for all 3 February winners and then Tammy Della Jose that was in end of January. So they've been ordered and you guys should get them here shortly.
Okay. So close. All right, I think this is going to be long enough. Thank you for the donations, for everybody. I forgot to say thank you to everybody. I think this will be long enough. I hope it does. I don't have the settings right, but honestly, that's just fanfare, and we don't care about that. Let's just get this going, and let's get this drawing going. All right, so this is for the collegiate jacket, or a blanket, or the donation jacket, or 5 pounds of coffee. Here we go. Let's rock and roll. And then we get started with the show. We got a really good show. Really good. So stick with us. Here it is. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Hey, we got sound. No.
Kat
Alkire wins the jacket. Outstanding. We're going to remove, so winner for the collegiate jacket, and then we're going to do 2 bags of coffee just to get you addicted. So 2 bags of coffee is what I agreed to. Is that okay, Liv?
Yep. So 2 winners, 1 bag each, correct?
Yep, 1 bag each of the 12 ounces of coffee. Here it is. First coffee bag goes to... Congratulations, Kat. Aaron Warshauer gets the first bag of coffee. Congrats. And that's a coffee you're choosing. Just get hold of Olivia and let her know which coffee that you want. And for the next bag of coffee, winner, come on. Let's do this. And it's going to be Tom Shin with a bag of coffee.
Nice.
2 bags of coffee and a jacket for tonight. Glad we did that. So we had 3 winners overall. We had Tom, we had Kat, and who else?
Aaron Warshauer.
Yes, Aaron.
I don't know how to spell her name.
Congratulations. So just Warshauer, Warshauer.
Perfect. I did it correct.
So do me a favor, and you guys send Olivia an email at olivia@thedumbshow.com. Let her know which coffee you want. 12-ounce coffee. You have 5 to choose from, 6 to choose from, and then which jacket or coffee or blanket that you want. And we got you taken care of. Go pick. All right.
Yep. And then also I need your mailing address and your phone number, please.
Mailing address and phone number, all of that. Looks like we have a bunch of people on. Folks, if you could hit the like button, we would appreciate it. Also, $66. We're behind. We got 45 minutes to hit goals, so we wouldn't mind doing that. But let's rock and roll. We got a busy show to do. We have a whole bunch of people on Rumble and a whole bunch of people on Facebook. I think people enjoyed the interview. The Tomahawk missile. Listen, people have been talking about this school bombing that took place that supposedly took, I think, 182 lives. Now, I want you to understand something. BDA, I'm pretty good at it, and I'm pretty good at understanding what our country is capable of and what other countries are capable of. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this down for you, and we're going to look at it. I'm going to show you how I came to the analysis that I did. Now, there's 2 missiles that are in play here. Now, there was rumors of a HARM missile, which is a high anti-radiation missile. Now, what does that mean? Essentially, what a HARM missile is a surface-to-ground missile that will take out radars, surface-to-surface, essentially enemy defenses. And that's what a HARM is. It very much looks like a very long Sidewinder or a Phalanx missile combined, and it is has a low yield of explosive, very low yield, and more than a grenade, less than C4. But the main thing that it's designed to do is to create multiple hundreds of piece of shrapnel and a high electromagnetic impact, which will fry circuits and ultimately shred any defense systems. This is not that. If this hit a building, the building would laugh. So it's not a HARM. This could be a few things. There's 2 missile systems that it could be, in my opinion, in my estimate. One is a KH-55, which is deployable mainly on 3 different airborne devices and is more of an air-to-surface missile. And a Tomahawk, which is usually launched upon a mobile platform such as a naval vessel. This is usually how Tomahawks are launched. They're launched horizontally and then ultimately hit their glide path at a very low nap of the earth elevation, very much similar to the KH-55. KH-55 has a longer range. It's a little bit bigger of size, but its explosive yield is also smaller, so therefore it sacrifices explosive damage to range. You're like, Matt, why are you telling me all this? Well, because I want to show you some things, and I want you guys to keep an open mind and listen to what I'm saying. Is I'm not trying to listen. If you talk to Leroy and I and you ask us, when we wake up in the middle of the night with cold sweats, it's because strikes that we essentially initiated and strikes that we conducted with a team went wrong. And they do. And especially when I was in. When I was in, the GPS quality, the overall laser guidance and artificial intelligence was virtually non-existent. Most of it was GPS-based nav and did not necessarily have the highest probability of success. And confidence was low in some cases, and the results were we would hit targets we didn't want to hit. And we hit areas that we didn't want to hit, specifically civilians, schools, churches. It happens. This is war. And although we have become very surgical in what we do, mistakes do take place. So let's break this down. Now, there's a couple things I want you to understand. Redundancy, okay? The first thing is that when you go off and you want to hit a target, usually it's not one warhead that does it. If you're using a Hellfire or you're using a drone or you're using some sort of laser-guided bomb, munitions on an automobile or a group of people, usually with those, you're going to use a drone, you're going to use a Hellfire, you might use an EC-130 at roving altitude, and you would use, maybe even a Warthog or an Apache or something to that effect. When you are using, surface to surface missile systems, you're usually going to use redundancy. And you're not going to use long-range artillery, but these are highly precision weapons. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to try to dispute the fact that this is a KH-55, which is, in my opinion, not what this is. Here is a very good look, the best look you're going to get at this. You see that the wing sweeps, which are basically the fins of a Tomahawk, are going to be sitting roughly at about the 55% mark of the body. Does everyone understand what I just said? Those little fins that look like they're almost the middle.
They can't see your mouse, unfortunately.
They can't see my mouse, but they can see the thing.
Mm-hmm.
So this little area, you're going to see two little humps along the horizontal plane of the body. These are your fins, your stabilizers, and these are ultimately which control your flight elevation. And the capabilities of the Tomahawk. Now, I'm going to go into some things that are extremely sensitive. This is sensitive information. This isn't no longer top secret. But for the longest time, I could not talk about these things. I can talk about them now. I made sure I asked the right questions and I asked the right people, can I talk about these things? And yes, I can. These are now public knowledge, but I have to be careful because some of the things are extremely sensitive. So please understand that when I talk about these things, I'm only going to go into so much detail. Now, a Tomahawk is a very long missile system, but there's a couple things that you have to understand here is that although very much resembles a Tomahawk, the explosive damage is not similar to a Tomahawk. In fact, that is a very, very low explosive rate for a Tomahawk. Watch it again. Now, it is definitely something is interacting. You have black dust. Now, that could be an explosion, a sympathetic explosion that took place, but this does not look like the Tomahawk detonated, and this is what throws us off. If this was a Tomahawk, let me explain to you. It's 1,000 pounds of TNT, essentially. It is a very large explosion. It's almost a half a ton of TNT. You would see a fireball. You would see a very large shock wave. And these people who are walking around here more than likely would be on their butts. A Tomahawk is not a low-yield explosion, which leads me to believe that this missile system failed. Is that this Tomahawk, for some reason, could have had some electronic countermeasures involved. It could have just been a bad warhead. It could have been, AAA or some sort of anti-aircraft, or a missile battery, a defensive system. Something happened where I believe this thing that you're seeing right here is non-primary explosion from the Tomahawk, and you're just seeing a very low-yield explosion. Now, it also, because of the area having a school in it, and I'll show you some of the satellite photos, is they also could have put a very low yield of explosive. Now, that is more than likely. So was this thing effective? Yes. Was this thing guiding? Yes. Did it hit its target? Yes. And is the explosive pattern similar to a Tomahawk? No. But you can also limit the yield inside of a Tomahawk and lower the amount of explosive it is to do less collateral damage or sympathetic damage in an area, which would make sense since they knew that they were firing in targets that they were not going for, which could have civilians. This is like a military base. Military bases have civilians in it all the time, and you don't want to hit the residential areas and kill moms and daughters and sons. I do not believe that this is the case. Now that you've seen this, let's watch it at full speed. This is going to take about 10 minutes. You also hear concussion simultaneous with explosion, which a faster moving explosive, what they put in here, I cannot tell you what that explosive is a very fast moving explosive. It doesn't necessarily rip like TNT would, or Semtex or C4, which is extremely fast moving, and the sound wave doesn't rip. It literally blows things apart. This also leads me to believe that this was a very low yield Tomahawk for a reason, because they were going to put multiple warheads on target and did not want to create collateral damage. Watch again last time. You can hear the impact along with the explosion at the same time. Usually what you would hear is the report from the explosion would outpace the impact because of speed and velocity. Let's go into some of these things. First thing I'm going to show you is this picture. This is the attack pattern in Iran. Remember when I told you when they were going to attack? Well, this is a mirror of exactly what I told you they were going to do, which was all along the coastal line of Iran. Remember when I said that? They were going to hit the western side and hit up into Tehran, above Isfahan, and down below in Shiraz, and all the way down into past the Gulf of Oman. Well, this right here, this green dot, happens to be in between two strikes that were confirmed. Now, the overall distance between these is only about 10 kilometers. But you can see that there was a bombing campaign, a very heavy one in this red area. The density of attacks are dignified by a red color. You can see that, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we do know attacks were happening in that area. The next thing we need to go ahead is take a look at the BDA assessment. And this is going to show you the cone and show you what happened as far as areas of target. Now, this gets a little bit confusing if you haven't done BDA before, so bear with me. The top picture shows an orange box, a red box, a blue box, a yellow box, a green box, and a purple box. You see that?
Yes.
Okay. Now, if we go down to the bottom, we start looking for these boxes. Here's the red box. It's in the middle to the left of the cone.
Got it.
All the way at the bottom is orange, blue, another orange, and a green, and white is all the way over here above purple.
Yep.
See purple in the lower right-hand corner? Well, white is all the way vertical. That is the Shara Elementary School. Now, the cone patterns you can see are very, very structured and dense in one area. But this is well within the area of this cone that an accident could take place or a building was targeted in the strike package that was not intended to. Okay. Now, if this red cone was completely off here 2 kilometers away, the chances of it are very, very small, unless there was an intercept of that Tomahawk coming in. But because it's near the cone, this is a probability that the school was in strike path of that area. It's just possible. Okay. That's what we wanted to know. The next thing is I want you to look at the other missile systems that this could be that Iran has possession of. You have the Quds, you have the Ya Ali, you have the Sulmar, and you have the KH-55, which is a Russian-based missile system. The one thing that dignifies a difference in the KH-65 is you see this little circular pod down here. Underneath it, it looks like a little jet engine. Well, that is a jet engine. That's where its power source. It comes with a turbine. Bless you. It comes with a turbine down the middle of the missile, and then a secondary jet propulsion system. I can't tell you what that's for. I can just tell you that it assists with overall speed, and it assists with maneuverability, and a system that it has that's similar to the Tomahawk, but not quite as good. I can't go into too much detail. You look at most of these have that undercarriage little engine, minus the Ya Ali, which has a higher profile and is built a little bit closer to the Tomahawk. Still doesn't have its capabilities. Now let's take a look at the missile system that we saw versus a Tomahawk missile. Over to the left is the video of the airstrike in Manabaran at the elementary school. If you look, this is not a straight shot like this is. You are looking underneath the missile system on the right, and you are looking and you're seeing the full width of the overall fins. Here, you're seeing it at an angle like this. So you only see a certain portion, but I promise you that the measurements are exact, the placement of the wings are exact, and it falls through based upon this picture, and you can see a little bit better that that is indeed based upon the wing placement, based upon the fin stabilizers, and the fact that it does not have an undercarriage propulsion system, that this missile is a Tomahawk missile in my estimation. Now, are we done? No. Of course we're not done, because I'm going to go ahead and break down the video and show you even more. Now, this is where I really get good at this type of stuff, so bear with me. So the first thing we recognize is that this picture is not horizontally balanced. This is at an angle, and it's about a 7-degree angle from center. Do you guys see that? Mm-hmm. See how it's being shot like this? So we can't necessarily understand the direction of this missile system and this weapon system because it's not coming in at an angle that's true. So the first thing I wanted to show you is this is in Photoshop, and I'm using this, and I'm going to show you the trajectory. I want to put a protractor up here just to give you a visualization, something we've all used before. Now, if I really, really want to get dialed in, I'm not going to use a protractor. I'm going to measure the tree, measure the street. I'm going to use GPS data. I'm going to get a down-looking keyhole satellite. I'm going to go ahead and rebuild the entire area and get the exact angle of approach. But right now, this is coming across as about a 70-degree angle. Now, I immediately know this is not a KH-65 because even though I can't go into specifics, I can give you a general range of the KH-65, and I will tell you it's on the substandard of 60 degrees maximum, which means that in its terminal phase, 60 degrees is about the maximum and usually flies at about a 28% down angle when it makes its final approach. That's a KH-65 or 55. So we automatically know that even at a 70-degree down angle that this KH-55, this is not, because it can't achieve that. But because I want to be accurate, I'm going to go ahead and make adjustments to the overall angle, and I'm going to make that completely flat, which means a 0 grade on left and right to the overall landscape. How do I know this? Well, there's a couple ways. First, I use the protractor, which is a straight angle. But as we see, before I even level it off, we are at a direct 80-degree angle. A direct 80-degree angle on a Tomahawk. Take a look again. Now, Matt, is that completely true and flat? Sure. I'll show you why. So when we go through this, you're going to see the 80-degree angle coming in. And then, Matt, is this completely flat? Yes, because I'm going to establish the horizon. I'm going to establish the horizon on a couple of things. I've got a few straight lines. First of all, this pole right here is not straight. It's off about 2 degrees, so I know this isn't going to give me a true straight up and down. But this white one over to the right is perfectly centered from the straight up and down, and so is this palm tree. Because it's not high. If it was a 20, 30-foot palm tree, that would not be perfectly straight. But because it has a very low profile to the ground, I can get a very true angle based upon this tall one on the right. And this is what we've established. So once I go ahead and add these guidelines, you'll see I'm going to turn them on. I've already pre-mapped them for us. I'm going to turn on the guide grid, and you can see that this is now a perfect plane to 0 based upon the tree and based upon this white pole here, which gives me my true projection. On a rough scale, I could be off by a degree or two, but 80 degrees is ultimately what I'm seeing. Now, the question is, why does that matter, Matt? Well, I will tell you why it matters. Because the KH-55 cannot achieve an 80-degree down angle on approach. The third thing is that it's only available on 3 aircrafts. The aircrafts are very simply put to be these are TU-based, Russian-based aircraft, which the Iranians don't possess, number one. Number two, they do have modified mobile launchers, but these mobile launchers were engaged and targeted, and there would be no reason for them to strike their own area, if that makes sense, with this particular missile system. Now, could they be trying to head fake? Sure. Could they be trying to kill their own people and set up the United States? Sure. But what we do know is Israel doesn't have a Tomahawk, and we also know Iran doesn't have a Tomahawk. Now, why does the angle of entry matter? Now, this is what I can tell you. This is what I can tell you. There is something in a Tomahawk, and this is something I haven't been able to tell Olivia or anybody for a long time, but now we're clear. The Tomahawk missile during its final approach, and I can't tell you how far it is, but it has something called terminal pop-up. And this was classified for a long time. Terminal pop-up allows the Tomahawk to essentially move to a vertical position, do an incline, and come up, and I will not give you the angles, but I give you the down, anywhere from usual attitude for those angles are about 60%, but can reach up to, very rough figure, I'm not going to give you the exact figure because I can't, around 80%. And it is the only missile system like this that can do that. There is nothing else on the planet that can do it in this size and this frame and would be capable in the area. So at terminal pop-up, it comes up and then it goes into its target. And they use this for ship-based. They use this for buildings with soft tops, tar-based roofs, or non-massive construction material, so they can get in through either the elevator shaft or give through the soft parts of the building and ultimately detonate and blow up the building. It has a better propensity of destruction by doing that. Now, most of the time a Tomahawk will come in fairly flat like the KH-55, but the overall pop-up capability of the 55 is not as strong as the Tomahawk, and the Tomahawk is much more aerodynamic, much faster, and has a better delivery at that angle. It's the only one that can achieve that. So what am I trying to tell you? What I'm trying to tell you is that in my estimation, with probably 99% certainty, that is a Tomahawk US-based missile. That's it. Now, did the United States hit a school on purpose? No. In no way, shape, or form is there any evidence of that whatsoever. There could have been a bad intel collection. There could have been bad electronic intelligence imagery analysis that this was a school. This could have been outdated targeting information. This could have been a simply mistake by the strike programming. There are a lot of reasons it could have happened, but this is war, and it happens. It happened in the Gulf. It happened in Afghanistan. It happened in Vietnam. It happened in the Civil War. Friendly fuck or misidentifying targets as civilian casualties happens. It is horrible. It sucks. But in the end, this was a military target that had a civilian structure on it, according to the Iranians, because we don't even know if there were kids in there. We don't know that yet. But based upon the intelligence that I've assessed, if this did have children in it, this was most assuredly a U.S. strike, and I do not believe it was an intentional strike because the redundancy didn't take place. They said specifically that 2 missiles hit 20 minutes apart. That is a possibility, but I don't have any information on that. We only see 1 missile strike, and I do believe at this point that it would have been an accident. Okay? So that's my assessment. I've seen a lot of people. There's a lot of big name people right now that are saying that I'm wrong, and I will only stand behind my assessment in the past and give you the best expert analysis that I can give you based upon the information that I have. And that's what I would say. Okay?
Okay.
Any other comments on that? Any questions on that? Why would the Iranian people send their children to school when they are under attack? Once again, a question that I can't answer because I don't have that information. At the timetables of when this strike happened, looks like it was the middle of the day. A lot of those happened in the early morning. That would explain it to me. But once again, that's a hypothetical. I don't have the data or information to answer your question effectively. What I do know is that, in my opinion, in my assessment, is a Tomahawk US-based missile. That's it. That's all I'll say. Because that's the only thing I can say. The telephone pulse is pretty close to a 90. Yeah, that telephone pulse is slightly off. The white one is not. For structural integrity, it's not. They're based to 0. Protractor is flat. Look at the parking lot.
Is it against international law to put a school on a military base?
No, because we have every single military base in the United States has a school in it, and they have them all in Japan. They have them in Kandahar. They have them in Dubai. They have them in Bahrain. Every military base on the planet Earth has schools in it and has civilians there because families have kids. And it sucks. IRGC moved into schools and hospitals. They sure did. Yes, they did in Gaza too. Do kids go to school on Saturday in Iran? Good question to ask. I don't know. Hip Chick says, I didn't ask you, Matt. It was a statement. Oh, okay. Just doing my best to give everything I see and answer it. Yeah, I don't understand, and I wasn't addressing yours, hip chick. It was somebody else who said it. That was Karen who said, "Why would the Iranian people send their children to school when they're under attack?" I wasn't responding to yours. In fact, hip chick, I didn't even see yours. It was too high. So, that's it. You know, if you guys want to call in. I've got the phone number. If you have some questions or you're seeing something that I'm missing, let me know. Am I calling President Trump a liar? No. In any way, shape, or form, no. And if I'm the president of the United States, I am going to say, this is the information we have right now. And I am not, I could be wrong. And I very well might be wrong. My certainty is based upon the signature of the missile, the explosive, the overall report of the missile, the capabilities of what a Tomahawk can do and what other missile systems can do. There was nothing in theater that could perform to that level that missile system did based upon the angle of entry. That's all. That's all. So unless I have another angle or unless I have other information, yeah, Riley says it's the profile. That's exactly right. It's the profile. And knowing the size of the KH-55's explosive radius, that's the one thing that threw me off. Because the KH-55 can actually go down to about 400 pounds of explosive to like 800. And the Tomahawk, these are estimations, I'm not going to give you the right number, is 1,000 anywhere to about 600. And looking at that, it leads me to believe that was a very low explosive packed Tomahawk. You can put a nuke in a Tomahawk. So it was low yield. And that is specifically designed to save civilians' lives. So that's how I know. If the United States wanted to flatten that fucking school and everything else, they'd be dropping a Moab in that son of a bitch. They'd be dropping a GBU-57 on that thing. They would blow it to kingdom come. They didn't want to do that. Okay? And a lot of people are blaming the Jews, and it wasn't the Jews because Israel doesn't have Tomahawks. Okay? And we don't lend them Tomahawks either. All right.
Put up the countdown clock. Please.
Sorry, guys. That was a lot. And I appreciate you guys listening and hearing me out. Oh, wow. I just received a memory shot of 4th grade geometry. Nothing better than a protractor to establish an angle. And it's what everybody knows. All right. Here we go. We got business to do. I hope that addresses some of your questions. Tucker Carlson basically said...
Hang on tight. Hayden needs something
for
school.
Okay. I can take over.
Yep. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I got it. Watch you walk away. Matt, what's your honest opinion if we should be doing this Iran assault? I told you how much I love those pants.
Sorry.
Jeez, woman. You're about as graceful as a truck. Ash, I'm sorry. What did she do? So, Matt, what's your honest opinion if we should be doing this Iran assault or not? I think it's absolutely needed. I think a ground invasion is the dumbest thing we could possibly do. It'll be Vietnam and Afghanistan all over again. You don't want to get in a ground war in a place the size of 1/3 of the United States. I think we should continue to kill every single leader that they vote in until it's somebody who we want. I think we should continue to arm. The Kurds are not going to go in right now, and I think Trump is being smart with this. The Kurds would be a bloody, bloody battle. And Pakistanis from the east would be a bloody battle. I think you continue to destroy every single system that they create. And every time they try to reestablish air dominance with their drones and their overall ballistic missile systems, I think you should send them to hell. And this should just be a roving campaign for the rest of time until the regime falls. I think you take Kirk Island and you've already blown up their refineries, and I think you keep China on their heels. But for geopolitical situation, I agree with this strike from a minor standpoint. I do not agree with troops on the ground. I don't think Israel should go into Iran. I think you have them neutered. They don't have a navy. They have limited production based upon their retaliation capabilities from an ICBM, from a medium and short-range ballistic missile. They don't have integrated air defense systems. They don't have an air force anymore. And now you put economic sanctions on them and you bleed them dry. And you use the southern and eastern and northern side of Iran to supply food and resistance and weapons to Iranian civilians, and you create militia and you have them take care of this. Yeah, arm the people. Yes. School week in Iran is usually Saturday to Thursday. Thank you, Mel, for that. With the support that Iran gives Hamas, why would they not have military under civilian structure? They always do, you know? Here's Tucker Carlson. Let's watch this. We got a busy show to do. Appreciate you guys listening to me on that. I expected a little bit more resistance and people to be mad at me. I'm not anti-American. I'm pro-US. I'm pro, like, here's the thing. The way I look at this, it's very much like we are soldiers. And the guy's calling in the airstrikes, and he's literally saving. He's calling in the napalm on the Viet Cong. And he's just laying just streams of napalm on these guys and just calling in these big rockets and calling our artillery down. And he's just taking out Viet Cong. He's keeping them alive. And he calls in an airstrike just a little too close so they don't wave off. And it kills some Americans and Viet Cong. And Mel Gibson turns around and he goes, "You don't worry about that one, son. You let it go. You keep calling them in. You're keeping us alive. Keep them coming. Just move on." This is one of those that, yes, it sucks. It sucks to pull kids out of buildings. And I don't want to get too much more into this. Like, I don't want to get too much more into this. It sucks. It's not nobody. There's no operators. There's no strike guys. There's no intel guys. There's no ETs or OSs. None of us want to kill kids. No. No. But you move on from that one and you keep calling them in. That's what this needs to be. I saw the B-2 drop in the Moab. I saw it. Yeah, some things I just don't put on here. All right, here's Tucker talking about rape, and Tucker's lost the plot. Here it is.
Unconditional surrender means foreign troops get to rape your wife and daughter if they want. And everyone knows that. And that has been, if there's one consistent lesson of history, it means unconditional surrender means foreign troops get to rape your wife and daughter. Everyone can feel that. That's like the most atavistic instinct there is. And so to avoid that, people will do anything. And so that's why it requires that level of force to get a population subdued to the point of unconditional surrender. That's why. And so in this case, of course, we don't have the ground force necessary. I don't think Americans would voluntarily participate in it. I just don't think we can do that. It would require weapons of mass destruction. It would require presumably nuclear weapons in order to do that. And let's not lie to ourselves. We're moving toward that.
Oh my God.
Unconditional surrender means
I got to get rid of this cell. It's driving me crazy. All right, because I keep screwing it up and go into it. That is the dumbest thing I've like. Have regimes done that? Have the Japanese done that? Did U.S. soldiers do that in Vietnam? Or did Attila the Hun and Genghis Khan do that? Did the Russian Cossacks do that? Yes. Did the Nazis do it? Did the English do it? Yes. He's so myopic in his viewpoints now. To even cast those aspersions that total surrender equates to opening your people up for rape and plunder. I think this is just a little bit much. I think it's a little bit extreme. Now, do rapes happen? Yes. And have American soldiers done some atrocious things? Yes. And all of these things are true, but that's not the end game for this. And that's not the ultimate end goal for the enemy or us. Complete surrender usually means that the military operation or the current system of government has recognized that they can no longer fight without severely limiting their ability to survive for an indefinite period of time without surrender. The Japanese understood it. The Germans understood it. We almost understood it in the American Revolution with just a few things that would have went north or south, not Civil War pun. Society, the Native Americans realized it. There comes a point where you're not opening yourself up for rape and plunder. You're opening up because you realize the very survival of your people is dependent upon your decision to no longer engage in military action versus an overwhelming force. And that overwhelming force desire is to achieve their ultimate goal. Now, if their ultimate goal is to murder and kill every single person, well, then surrender shouldn't be an option, because ultimately the surrender will castigate upon you the very fear that you have by surrendering to begin with, which is the annihilation of your people. So for Tucker to make this very simple, I'm going to lead you down a why this is just classic Tucker, because he says shit that he doesn't mean in order to get people to give them a cathartic reaction that's usually in a heightened state. It's what trolls do. They put in clickbait in order to get you to no longer think logically and to get an emotional reaction. And he goes, well, I don't believe these things. But they happen, and I'm not saying I agree with them, but they can happen. And you're like, yeah, well, sure, they can happen. Theoretically, anything's possible in physics, and wishing in one hand and shitting the other and seeing which fills up first. But in all reality, to rape and pillage is not the U.S.'s ultimate goal in Iran. If it were, there are plenty of other ways to do this without putting U.S. interests at risk. Mel, you have some thoughts on this?
My thought is, why is the strait closed? Because Oman and UAE have the other side. Iran has the middle or the other side with Bandar Abbas, and I know that got smashed. So what's the issue with the ships not going through?
Well, I can explain that to you, but that's not what we're talking about right now.
I know, because I had called like before you changed topics, but anyways.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
There's a reason. Anyways. There's a reason. No, let's talk about it now. There's a reason why. And when it comes to the Suez, it's because you have the Yemenis, which is why the George W. Bush just moved into the Mediterranean. So they just sent the Gerald Ford into the Red Sea. So it just went through the Suez, and now it's going towards Yemen. So they're going to lock that up. The George W. Bush is going to move to the Mediterranean, and then the Lincoln's going to go ahead and stay outside the Gulf. So they're running that, but you know what happens with the Houthis and their capabilities with anti-ship missiles. You know there's still elements in Iran that have CSC-3 silkworms and other types of weapon systems that can be anti-ship capable. We know Iran's probably sitting on a couple hypersonics, and they are waiting for a sheer volume of force of guided missile destroyers and guided missile cruisers to go ahead and chaperone all of these through the Gulf of Oman and UAE and push them into the Persian Gulf. So I believe it's a sheer matter of having enough carriers and enough of the larger size battle groups to go ahead and protect the Suez and the Straits.
No, I agree with whatever, but that's where Moab comes in, and they just need to go on the other side, drop by Bandar Abbas, and drop a couple of dozen Moabs, and that whole side, and the Houthis, they're all gone. So, and so are all the silkworms and everything else on that side.
Yeah,
like
well, it would be nice.
Turn it into glass. Like,
well, sure, it would be nice. But we just literally lost our fucking minds over a school. Can you imagine if you start dropping Moams indiscriminately in these areas? Because a lot of them are densely populated civilian areas.
That still has, that whole thing has not been verified that all these kids were killed.
Whether they do or not, if you start dropping Moabs on the coastal cities of Iran, we're going to kill civilians. At 75 to 100,000 civilians will be dead. If you just drop Moabs indiscriminately just to literally wipe out the coastal areas of Iran, we're going to kill a lot of civilians.
Yes, you are.
I understand. Do I think we're there yet? No. No, I don't. Do I believe that we need to start no longer worrying about indiscriminately taking out civilians? No, I don't think this is Dresden. I don't think the United States need to do that.
No, but the civilian population knows that they're going to go to ground. Like, they're not going to be anywhere near, like the ones that don't have any skin in the game. It's only the ones, the IRGC, just pretending to be civilians, and the ones that are changing their clothes so that they look like the normal, whatever, like the Hamas situation, whatever. So anyways, but yeah, the land or the mining thing, the Houthis have got to go.
Yeah. Well, we've hit the western side of Yemen for a better part of a year. And when we have not achieved security and coastal security and waterway security in any way, shape, or form. It is still a volatile area, and you have pirates. You have coastal batteries that are still there. People, this is 1/3 the United States. There are so many areas to hide weapon systems, and you and I both know the Iranians did not literally spend their entire coastal batteries or their surface-to-air missiles or their drones. They are holding them in reserves. And they are just waiting for those shipping lanes to open up, and they're going to start nailing civilian craft. This is phase 2 of the Iranians' response, which is, number 1 is to launch a massive amount of batteries into all over different countries to get them to heightened states of alerts to not knowing where they're going. So it creates confusion so they can randomly pick targets and attack them like they have, and not give them a lot of lead time, because we know what Hezbollah is going to do. Hezbollah is going to go ahead and give a 3-minute warning and hit Jerusalem and Tel Aviv, which they've been doing because there's so much confusion. So they tried to overwhelm these battery systems. Second phase of it was to do selective targeting. And the third phase is to get the Straits and the Suez shut down so there's no throughfare through the Gulf and ultimately cripple the United States economy. That's what they're going for. And if we just
I know that's what they're going for, but they've been hammering UAE. UAE has been hammered the most out of all the Gulf.
Yeah.
The Gulf states.
Yeah, we know why.
And UAE is pissed.
I know.
So I'm sure UAE is going, well, if they haven't already, they're going, and same as Oman, like they're done. And the Saudis are not that far behind. Now that they have the backup, they'll play too. But UAE, they got to engage.
Well,
they really do.
I think these countries are engaging, but the United States is also keeping them somewhat in check as well, because they do not have the care for civilian life that we do. You know this.
True.
And those Arabs don't give a shit about Iranians, and they don't care about anybody. They will randomly kill indiscriminately, and they don't care how many people get hurt. But the reason why UAE is getting hit so much, as you know, and the only reason I'm saying this is because not everyone might know this, but I know you're aware. I mean, hell, you even do the code name of CSC3s, which should show a lot. But the Straits of Hormuz, and I'm going to pull this up in a new scene right now. So if we take a look at the Straits, I mean, you can see of why UAE is getting hit, because it is, you've got Dubai, you've got Abu Dhabi right here, and then you have United Arab Emirates. I mean, this is literally the pocket right here where most of those defense systems, they're going to continue to hit, because a lot of those early warning system and coastal batteries that we have are sitting along Dubai and Abu Dhabi and Qatar. So I mean, folks, see this big giant swath here? This is Iran. This is all Iran. And this is Dubai, Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates are all right here. You can see them.
Yeah.
So you're this right here, the Straits of Hormuz, you have this very little tiny thing right here, this little sliver. And this sliver is ultimately responsible for taking care of this entire coastline, which comes all the way through here and all the way down to Karachi, right? Yeah. So you got to bring in, and then you've got the Persian Gulf to deal with, and this massive swath. So then you've got what? You've got Kuwait right here. You've got Iraq up here. You've got Riyadh here. You have a shit ton of desert in between with not a lot there. And mainly the only thing you have along here are Patriot 2 missile systems to take care of any Iranian shots that are going into Israel. Then you've got Jordan. Then you've got Syria. Jordan has Patriot systems. Well, then you've got the carrier group down here, which is going to be the George W. Bush, which is also going to try to intercept systems. And then you've got Iron Dome, Iron Beam, and Patriot 2s in Israel. That's what they're doing. So you've got to somehow find the ability to protect those vessels. And the only way you're going to do that is guided missile cruisers and creating mobile flotillas, which are our fleet, to go ahead and protect that area.
Yep, I agree.
And that sucks, because this is the problem with the straits.
It really sucks.
Yeah. Because guys, this is this little tiny area protecting all of this. You're talking 300-400 miles of coastal waters. And all you need is one silkworm, CSC-3, to completely fuck these civilian ships. I'm going to show you the density. Mel, it's a really good conversation, and it's a really good point you're making. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But the only way to stop it is to literally lay waste to the territory, or put guided missile cruisers on there. And when they put a CSC-3 in the air, it's going to get shot down by multiple, you know what it's going to get shot down by, and so do I. Yeah. That's why you need the cruisers. Those cruisers are just going to surf that coast. You're going to see 20 ships just doing this. Just back and forth, back and forth. And once that battery kicks off, it's going to fucking blow that thing out of the sky, because you're going to have F-35s up there. You're going to have E-2Cs. You know what else you're going to have up there at high altitude, and they are just going to lay waste to that coastal area. But you can't do that until you get the carrier groups, and they need the carrier group in the higher Gulf, and they need the carrier group in the Red Sea, so they can do the job here in the Straits.
Nope. Yeah. I got it, but yeah, really just, and I know the those Gulf states are like, they want to pull the trigger.
Oh, they
and
do.
They don't give two shits. They don't give two shits about civilian casualties. But at this point,
yes,
when you're taking out Dubai and hotels and runways,
I know.
Oh,
they want the Arabs to
They're
stay out of
pissed.
it. One way you piss Arabs off is to cut their money and to get the civilian population scared, and then they start turning against the Saudi Arabian government, Dubai, UAE, Qatar, Oman. They start turning against their government, and you create open rebellion. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to create chaos.
Oh, I know, but actually, they're cementing all of that group together.
I know. Well, you know what they need to do?
They don't want to see their cash cow go away. They're having too much fun, having too much money.
Well,
so,
you know what they need to do? They just need to cut a channel down through the base of they need to cut a channel and stop the choke point completely. And then they need to literally load that northern point with just missile batteries and artillery, and just that's what you need to do. You just need to put some 150 millimeter howitzers around that fucking line and just literally pummel. Every time something lights off, you just pummel those and just destroy them. Do what North Korea does to South Korea. Point fucking 500 artillery cannons at those coastal batteries. But you need to cut a channel.
Exactly.
But you can't cut a channel in 2 weeks. You got that's a year, 2 year, 3 year long project easily.
Well, I know a couple of Moabs can open up that channel.
You and the Moab. You love that Moab. All right, I gotta let you go, sister.
I love Moab.
I know, so do I. They're
okay,
great.
love you.
I love you, man.
Love you, man.
All right, so good conversation. Here is the second. Oh, thank you for the donation. $33.90 by JD Stillwell. Thank you. Liv, if you have to
Thank
go.
Goodness, it's Monday. I needed an update. No, she.
It's okay. I don't care. Yeah. I just want to keep going. But if you got to jump off because it's 9:00, and I'm not being rude, I want to give you that time because I know it's been a long weekend for you too. What's that?
God, is that you?
Hello, God.
I don't know what that was.
Iran is behaving like a mortally wounded animal. Mortally wounded animal. Yes, but it means that the command and control's dead. And essentially these co-captains are running independent wars. They have independent marching orders that when the high command, the Ayatollah, the mullahs were taken out, that these individual company commanders could do whatever they wanted. And now the U.S. has to systematically kill them. And it's just going to take some time. I think Trump believes that the United States is good and he can allow Israel to do this. I think we need a couple more weeks. Like I know people are getting itchy. Oil went down. Let's give this a few more weeks. Let's spend another 30-40 billion and let's do this right. And let's get those coastal areas. Let's get the straits protected. And for God's sakes, let's build a fucking a canal, please, and one that's wide enough for modern day aircraft carriers and shipping vessels.
Where do you want
Please.
this built?
I'll show you. I gotta change the color of this. It's 2 settings. Okay. And we're gonna go into Israel and Palestine. And we're going to open up this map. Come on. Okay. Going to the Gulf. Come on, baby. Here we go. Here's where I want it. And you're talking, I mean, overall size, 100 miles, maybe a little bit less. But you cut a channel. You could probably go to Kaaba, come through here, and then have it go through in between Dubai and Abu Dhabi.
So basically, you're going to cut off the top part of that land,
you're gonna
and then
put, yes, that's what you're going to do. You don't have any waterways here that connect, I don't think. No, you don't, but you have a lot of mountains. See this?
Mm-hmm.
So you would need to go through where there's natural erosion. So if you look here, south of Hatta, down here, but these are mountain ranges. These aren't huge. You could also have it come around and snake. You have to be careful.
So how do you do that?
You blow it up. You get massive excavation systems and you use TNT and you blow a canal. And what you do is you dam off the quadrant. So you blow an area which is open. You put turbines there for electrical. Gives those areas power. I mean, you would have to do infrastructure. You could also have runoff and man-made type water desalination plants for the waterways. You could also put, fishing production, things like that, because you're going to get fish. You're going to get all those things coming through. So you do the natural things that would take care of it. But you would have to cut through and make a canal. But it's ultimately right down here below Dubai. Oops, let me forward this. Like that. Before you get into the mountain range here.
Got it.
Because this is the Al Hajar mountain range. It's too high. So somewhere in between here, you would need to cut a line, and you would put a canal there, and just like you've got canal systems that are up in this area, you have to do the same thing. You've got a canal system that works right here through Istanbul and comes through into the Black Sea. So you've got a canal system here, just like if you go over to Panama in the United States. You get this is why we don't have an attack. But you've got Panama Canal that comes through, so you can get through here, so you don't have to go all the way down to the Straits.
Where's the Panama Canal?
Right. I just was at it. I just showed you.
I didn't see it.
Well, physically. Oh God, Liv. You're gonna kill me, Liv. I don't know where I'm at on the map.
There's Panama City.
There's Panama City. I got to zoom out. I need a topographical map with nothing on it. Here, let me just get you a picture of it. It'll be easier. And we'll pinpoint it. Because I don't know if this is going to have it on the map. I don't know if we can zoom in enough because it's not that big.
Hey, Evelyn wants to know how many miles is that compared to the Panama Canal?
I'll have to look. Yeah, right where, remember that white line that I showed you?
Mm-hmm.
That's where it looks like.
Okay.
So this is easier for me to show you, but that white line is where it was at. So if we go back to UA and you go here.
I see.
Well, no, that's the cutoff of the, that's what you'd be looking at.
Okay.
Through there.
Got it.
I think it's a little bit smaller than that. I think it comes through here.
That's what I thought I saw.
I mean, it depends how far I can zoom in. I could probably give you an exact. Yeah, I can't see. That looks like an aqueduct. I don't know. because I've never been through the Panama Canal, so I don't know.
Gotcha.
Anyway, but I know it's right there. Anyway, how far? Panama Canal's what? Can't be that wide. Let's find out. I don't know. I'm going to say, what, 15, 20? $1,500, I would say. Okay, so about 500 to 1,000 feet wide. And at its narrow, about 110 feet wide. And the length, good question. Let's find out. Okay, longer than I thought. 50 miles. So if this is 50 miles, then you're talking about a canal over here, about 150 miles to 175, 200 miles. I mean, it's not going to be easy. How long did it take Teddy Roosevelt to do it? 2 decades? I'm guessing because I don't know. 10 years, 1 decade. That was my initial guess. It's not that long. But here, with modern technology, it wouldn't be that long. Folks, we are sitting at where are we at? $100. $100, folks. Nope. Desperately need some help. $100. We are about 11, 12 minutes away. I know we have new equipment. I'm just saying it took 10 years to do the canal. I just said we have modern day equipment. I mean, you put the Army Corps of Engineers there. You bring in from Dubai. Dude, you see what they can do nowadays. I mean, would it take 10 years? No, but I think it's at least a 3 to 5 year project. You would assume. Panama Canal. Well, not the entire canal is 250 feet wide. That's not true. So, width depends on the section. About 500 to 1,000 feet wide in most navigation channels. The Colabera is 500 feet. The locks are 110 feet to 180 feet, and that's why we can't get modern day aircraft carriers.
How big are modern day aircraft carriers?
Well, that's a whole other conversation. Mm-hmm. Isthmus of Panama is super big, and it has a massive space in between too. So it's not just 250 feet, one channel. There's different parts that are bigger and smaller. I grew up with one of the canal supervisors living on my street. It was pretty much an ongoing project. I was trying to just send 5 right now. Well, we always appreciate, Daniel, if you would not mind, just go to thedumbshow.com/donate. 8 to 10 hours of average travel time. Building supervisor, I should say. Send 5 by 2 different countries. 5 by 5. Listen, if you bring UAE, you bring in Qatar, you bring in Jordan, you make this a multi-country project, and you're going to get that thing built in 3 to 5 years. But they've got to do it. They got to get away from this. All right, we got to move on, folks. We got a lot to do. Had a couple of videos of some drones that were hit and show you the different ways that we're bringing these down. Here it is.
Destroy. Target destroy.
All right, so what you hear right there is from a, why am I drawing a blank? Comanche? No. What the hell's wrong with me? Liv.
I wish I could help you with the name, but.
What is wrong with me? An Apache helicopter.
Target destroy.
So they're using Apaches now because it basically is $2,300 to fuel that thing, get it up there, and fire at that son of a bitch with a 50.
Destroy. Target destroyed.
And those are Israelis doing the shooting. We've given the Israelis Apaches. Here is another one. And these are the Shahed drones, which are predominantly what they're using. So once these aren't extremely fast-moving drones. And these choppers can keep up with them. So they're using Cobras, they're using Apaches, and I would assume pretty much any helo that has any mounted gun on it, side-facing or forward-facing, is going to be added to take these things out. It's going to be a hell of a lot cheaper than the missile battery systems. Adding dead people to voter rolls. Liv, you had a chance to pull up this video. This was where, well, let's watch it. You can tell us all about it.
Okay.
Respectfully, Representative Smith, the fact that there are, in fact, some errors that happen in the system. Every system has errors, and it doesn't mean that there are not safeguards in place. There are safeguards, and you as a clerk, having done many registrations previously, understand that there's a process that you go through. And you can ask NASA, there's no process that doesn't have some error inherent in the system.
Okay, thank you, and you're very right. When I was the clerk, there were lots of errors in the system. That's largely why I am here. I took off a dead voter in my township, and guess what? That dead voter was put back on. Not by me. That was done by the Secretary of State's office. So we need to do a lot of fixing here in our elections. When I was a clerk at Martin Township, there was a family member who at one point was registered at my in-laws' home, and that family member had died nearly 20 years prior. They were put on the rolls at 2020. They were mailed voter application ballots without the authorization to do that. That's the local clerk's job. So I went in there, removed her from the voting rolls because I know firsthand this family member is dead and deceased. Just this past election cycle, lo and behold, that person was put back on the voter rolls and has a card of the early voting location polling that I actually have and can produce. And that's a problem.
Yeah, for the Democrat Party that says there's not any cheating, there certainly sounds to be a lot of non-cheating.
Considering that it comes from the Secretary of State's office to put them back on.
Right. Well, you heard what Chuck Schumer said today.
I didn't, actually.
Well, Schumer went and said, well, here's what it is the following. I mean, more election stuff. I mean, he openly said 20 million people, if we implement the SAVE Act, won't be able to vote because they can't legally identify as citizens. And my whole comment was, well, wait a second. If they can't identify as a citizen, then why the hell are they voting to begin with? I mean, please. I mean, can we implement this? Because it sounds pretty damn good to me.
It sounds like 20 million people need to not be able to vote.
Well, that's what it sounds like to me. I mean, if that's what he's saying, here's the video that I made today. And let you watch this. And tell me what you think. And only about a minute and a half, but this kind of addresses exactly what we're talking about here. Here it is.
Chuck Schumer went on television warning that if the Save America Act passes, it could remove 20 million people from the voter rolls.
More than 20 million people would lose their right to vote. And you would need to register either a passport or your original birth certificate. How many people have that?
20 million. It's not a clerical error. It's not a handful of outdated registrations. That is the population of an entire state. In fact, that is roughly the size of New York. And we're supposed to act like the real problem is the bill itself. But listen to what he is actually saying. If requiring proof of citizenship to vote removes 20 million names from the rolls, then something is already very wrong, and the system is broken. So which is it, Senator? Either 20 million people were able to vote without proving they were citizens before, or they will be able to if nothing changes. Which one are you admitting to? Because those are the only two possibilities. Either you are telling us the rolls are already flooded with people who should not be there, or you are fighting to keep a system that allows it to happen. Schumer likes to say that some states already have voter ID laws. This is true. But 15 states still do not require strict voter ID to cast a ballot, and every single one of those states is controlled by Democrats. Americans show identification aboard a plane, cash a check, pick up certain medications, and even rent a car, but somehow proving citizenship before voting in a federal election is treated like some sort of radical idea. Schumer thinks he is sounding the alarm, but what he may be doing is actually saying the quiet part out loud. If verifying citizenship cleans 20 million names off the voter rolls, why were they there in the first place? And why are the Democrats so damn desperate to keep them there? I wonder.
Drop it hard.
You know, it's really not that hard to get your birth certificate.
No.
Because I had to get mine and we had to get yours.
Right.
And all you need to know.
This was in COVID.
Yeah. And well, I got mine a little bit before, but all you need to know is the city and state and county you were born in. And then you just have to contact that county. They're going to ask you a few questions. And then you pay like $25 and you get your birth certificate. Yep. And lo and behold, I got my birth certificate. And we had to do the same thing for Matthew.
During COVID.
And
it took 3 months.
But we got it. So, I mean, yeah, if you're expecting to be able to go and say, well, the election's tomorrow and I need to go and show proof. No, it's not going to happen. You should have thought of that beforehand. That's why this needs to pass now. So people who do need to get a birth certificate,
just go do it now.
Just
go get real ID.
Exactly.
It's not hard. Just go do it. Just go get a new ID.
And here's the thing. If you live in the same county that you were born in, just go down to the county office.
Oh,
That's
it's
not
so
hard.
It costs $130 to get a passport. Nobody's telling you to get a fucking passport. Go down and get real ID. Get your birth certificate. Oh, it's so difficult. Oh, you're just lazy.
And you know, I even had to order another marriage certificate too. Somehow it got lost on one of our moves. So I had to get a new marriage certificate.
It's so stupid. This is just stupid. It
is.
Enough. This should not be difficult. Folks, we are in dire consequence. It is $100. We are we're already in overtime. Like, we got to go. So, like, we got to get there. So if you have a chance, you haven't had a chance to donate to the show, we've got a whole bunch of people on. Please help the show out by going to thedumbshow.com/donate. We would appreciate it. We're going to do a couple more. Hopefully some come through. Talarico, Texas moron. This is what he said. If this guy wins, I mean, Beto O'Rourke was bad, but I would even rather have Beto O'Rourke than this guy.
That you love, that's not family or friends.
I love, I'm just saying this because it's on my mind, the trans children who showed up yesterday at the state capitol to advocate for their humanity. They shouldn't have to, but it was an inspiration to watch.
Something that you love. That's
such a cuck. Here is Talarico. This, by the way, God is both male and female, according to James. Here it is.
In Sunday school, that Jesus Christ himself was a radical feminist. God is both masculine and feminine and everything in between. God is non-binary.
We should treat our southern border like our front porch. There should be a giant welcome mat out front.
I want us all to be aware of is that modern science obviously recognizes that there are many more than two biological sexes. In fact, there are 6, which honestly, Representative Hefner surprised me too. Surprised me too, because I am not well versed in this issue area. I'm not a scientist. I'm a politician, a lot worse than a scientist.
He's the gosh darn Antichrist.
Oh, dude. And Mamdani apologizing for terrorists who are trying to throw bombs at people, 3 explosive devices. And Mamdani is blaming white supremacy. Listen to this shit.
At the time, this was a vile protest rooted in white supremacy entitled Stop the Islamic Takeover of New York City. I'm the first Muslim mayor of our city. Anti-Muslim bigotry is nothing new to me, nor is it anything new for the 1 million or so Muslim New Yorkers who know this city as our home. While I found this protest appalling, I will not waver in my belief that it should be allowed to happen. Ours is a free society where the right to peaceful protest is sacred. It does not belong only to those we agree with. It belongs to everyone. I will defend that right every day that I am mayor, even when those protesting say things that I abhor. Let me also be clear about something else.
Thank you so much, Mel. 10348. Go for Moab Canal Builder. Okay. Okay. That's a very expensive way to do it. Maybe we could just use some Anfro and some backhoes, maybe.
New York City will never tolerate violence, whether from protests or counter-protests.
Come on,
Many of the counter-protesters met this display of bigotry peacefully, with a vision of a city that is welcoming to all.
Thank you,
But
Mel.
a few did not. Two men, Amir Balat and Ibrahim Kayumi, traveled from Pennsylvania
ISIS.
and attempted to bring violence to New York City.
Terrorism.
They are
Yeah, and
suspected
they're
of
white.
coming here to commit an act of terrorism. There is video of these two individuals throwing
They're not white.
I was going to
two
say.
devices
I was
towards
joking.
the protest. The police department has determined that these were improvised explosive devices made to injure, maim, or worse. Thanks to the swift and decisive actions of NYPD officers at the scene, both men were immediately taken into custody.
Maybe we should defund the police. Next time they'll be successful.
I have
the
a
devices
question.
they
Yeah,
brought
go. Hold
taken
us.
off of our streets.
By the
I
way,
wanna
we're having
commend-
a local garbage pickup where we're going to be having volunteers to pick up the city trash if y'all want to join.
But make sure you bring your ID.
So let me get this straight. Snowballs are more violent than bombs. Got it. Got it.
I have a
Snowball fight.
question.
Oh,
I have a question. Is
yes.
all three the suspects are Muslim? So how is this an act of white supremacy?
Because it was racist for them to be there protesting in the first place, and they were just using their constitutional amendments to blow people up. I don't know what to tell you, sweetie. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. This fucking guy.
I don't understand.
I don't either. Don't understand. Brenda Shepard, $11.50. Come on, everybody. Just $5 or $10 from all of us will hit goal. Thank you, Brenda. We appreciate it. It's okay. It's been a tight. Listen, people are worried about taxes. I get it. We're trying. Plus, we had birthday and we did the jacket giveaway. People have been helping out a lot. So they're pinching the pennies. I get it. I understand completely. It's okay. Captain Cody Cork. Here's the parents of one of the 7 who had died. And, it's horrible. You can put that in, Liv. Paul Rivera coming in. I wish I could finish it off. Great interview. BDA show tonight. Love you, dummies. No, Paul, that's good enough. We appreciate it. $266.97. We need all the help we can get. We appreciate you. We're going viral back here too, which is also really good news because we're about ready, folks, to break 390,000. And we were at 389, 220 when we started. So we're going viral back here. So something's good.
And you know what's crazy is on my memories on Facebook yesterday, what popped up is your little video of 10,000 followers. They're your thank you video for reaching 10,000 followers.
Oh, really?
I wonder
why. I'm just
5 years ago. 5 years ago.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna check what's going viral because something's just blowing up.
But yeah, so I just thought that was crazy.
It's not my James Bond video. It is. It's the voting video for Schumer. That one's doing really well. And then the goat launcher one is doing really well.
The goat launcher.
And it looks like the Jesse Jackson re-engaged. So something's going viral. I don't know what it is. It must be an older video because I'm not seeing it, except if it's the short that I did today. And if that's good because shorts usually they do well sometimes, but that would really mean a lot because those are mine. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Okay, we're not done. Captain Cody Cork. Here's his parents. Listen, 7 have died, and we want to give a chance for their family as often as we can.
James, tell us about your son.
Cody was larger than life. He had a giving soul. In my opinion, he was a natural-born leader. I watched people come to him from all walks of life throughout his life. When he was playing paintball, ROTC, his high school friends, all the way through college. I've met him when he was on deployment when I was overseas. And I watched his Army friends and buddies just gravitate toward him.
Love you too, Rhiannon. Good to see you.
Watch him go from a boy to a captain, a real man in the Army.
James, tell us about your son.
That's so sad. Matt, we've met a lot of Gold Star families, and we've worked with a lot of them with Raise the Roof and Flags of Valor. And it's like, I remember going to, trade shows and selling flags, and just like these people just wrap you up, and just hug you. And I gave away flags all the time. I'm just like, here you go. Just, this is for you. And you're a Gold Star member and we really appreciate you, and it's hard. It sucks. These people pay the ultimate sacrifice, and they have knuckleheads like Tucker Carlson said that they're doing it for rape, or Megyn Kelly as you died for Israel. And it's just like, you fucking people have no couth. You're just doing it for clicks. It's horrible. Folks, donations are at Thomas Austin just came in. 288. We're almost there. 288.07. Thomas Austin came in with 2110. Another $20 towards goal. Thank you, Tommy. We appreciate you. We're real close, folks. We're getting there. We're gonna keep going. Keep pushing. We had a good interview tonight. This is how you address Jesse Jackson. Donald Trump shows up Obama. I don't know if you guys remember this, but Jesse Jackson Jr. came on and basically just read the riot act to Clinton, Obama, and Biden for not knowing his father, and essentially being apolitical after he ran for office, because essentially he couldn't necessarily support people who took advantage of black people. The 3 presidents are in attendance, and he just says this. Here is Donald Trump addressing Jesse Jackson. This is how you do this, by the way. This is how you address a family who's desperate need of people's condolences. This is tying into Captain Cody Cork, because you've got a bunch of people, a bunch of Republicans who supposedly care about our military, just saying some pretty horrendous shit. But this is President Trump, the man who supposedly doesn't know how to go ahead and say anything right, saying something right.
By expressing our sadness at the passing of a person who I knew very well. Jesse was a piece of work, I want to tell you. He was a piece of work, but he was a good man. He was a real hero, and I just want to pay my highest respects to Reverend Jesse Jackson. He's a good man. He was actually, as you got to know him, he got better and better all the time. A lot of people, you get to know him, they get worse and worse. Jesse got better and better. But I knew him well long before becoming president, and he really was special, with lots of personality, grit, and street smarts. You would say Jesse had serious street smarts, right? A very important ingredient to life, I will tell you. He was gregarious and someone who truly loved people, and a force of nature. He was somebody that we're going to greatly miss, and on behalf of everyone here today, I know you join me in sending our condolences to the entire family.
President Trump donated quite a bit of money to his campaign for president, and personally backed him. And it's nice to see him say some things. I don't like Jesse Jackson. I think he was a race baiter, and I think he was a pretty shitty human being, but it is what it is. Folks, we are so close. 288.07, just a couple more to get there. Help out the Don't Unfriend Me show. We would appreciate you. We are going to power through. Vets and the Iran war. Here is a poll that was taken, and no surprise that veterans actually support taking care of Iran, and in this way. Now, not all. There's some vets who adamantly oppose this, but this is important. And listen to the numbers. Here it is.
Overall public and those who are either currently or have served in the military. Take a look at this Fox News poll that came out during the past week. Net approval rating of the current U.S. military action against Iran. Look at that. Overall, Fox News shows a dead even split. But look at those who served in the military. Significantly higher support for the U.S. military action currently going on in Iran at plus 20 points. That should not be so much of a surprise, because take a look at how they view Trump's.
Patricia Luza. Patricia, is this first time donating? I'm not sure. I think I've seen your name before. Maybe I'm wrong.
She's been in chat. I don't know. I think this might be the first
love
time
the show.
she's
You know what?
done it.
I think the last time she did, I think this is her second or third time. Maybe more. I don't know. But either way, we love you. We appreciate you. Love the show. We love you too. Here is, we're almost there. 298.07. We are a couple bucks shy. Here's the
Foreign
rest.
policy overall. Again, look at those who served in the U.S. military versus overall. If you look at Trump's foreign policy overall, the net approval rating on that per Fox News, those who served in the military, they like what's going on average. Look at that. The net approval rating plus 8 points for Trump's foreign policy. But look at those overall. way down there at minus 20 points. We're talking about a nearly 30-point gap between those who served in the military and overall. And this split, when it comes to those who served in the military and overall, dates back to Trump's elections, all the way back to 2016. But let's look at the 2024 numbers. Look at this. 2024 results. Those who served in the military, Trump won them by, get this, 31 points. Kamala Harris actually won all other voters by 2 points. And that means, Johnny Berman, that means that Donald Trump only won in 2024 because of support from those who served.
Here's the thing, is Trump, I understand no new wars, but he also said peace through strength. And a colloquial comment doesn't necessarily mean a war is very different. We don't have troops on the ground. We're not dedicating 250,000. We're not conquering territory. We're not putting forward operating bases up. We're not putting permanent residents up. This is an air conflict. And the reason why we lost soldiers, and the only reason why we would have lost anyone so far, is because they were based in areas that were susceptible to Iran's retaliation. That's the only reason. Our fighter pilots are ultimately, it's not zero risk. There's never such a thing as zero risk. But our sailors and airmen are at a very low risk. And the only reason that they wouldn't be is if somebody enters this conflict who is not Iran. And that would be another power that has the capability. So as of right now, peace through strength. That's what he was sold on. We're going to keep cooking. We're going to fast go through a couple more, and then we're out of here. There's a person who is burning the Israel flag, I believe. Watch this.
Oh, what an idiot. Put him out. Yep.
Just throw some gas on him.
Bummer.
Any
I really wish it would have kept going.
Yeah, I mean, didn't we have another Moab? That's where I'm open for the Moabs. 1-800-SAVE-A-COMMIE.
I'm Nick Peterson. Every single hour in America, a socialist is faced with the daunting reality that they may have to contribute to society. For thousands of others, help came too late and they were forced to find employment. Will you be an angel for a helpless communist in training? Every day, hundreds of socialists must abandon their slam poetry meetups for the evils of personal responsibility. They're forced to participate in a free market where, unfortunately, individual achievement could possibly lead to prosperity. They're crying out for your handout, and only you can save them from drowning in student debt from a degree in feminist dance theory. Please visit the website on your screen and join the SPCS with a monthly gift right now. For just $6,000 a month, only 20,000 cents a day, you'll help rescue a socialist from perils of employment and provide shelter among rising rent costs that they were tricked into voting for. Public transportation that they were told would be free. Tattoos and piercings they otherwise couldn't afford. Crayons for their signs, and daily Starbucks. Join in the next 30 minutes and you'll receive this free Karl Marx sticker to put on your MacBook Pro. Right now, there's a socialist freeloader who needs you. Your donation says, "I'm here to help keep your failed ideology on life support." We promise your donation won't be used for an airline ticket to a socialist country, but instead to bring that ideology here, because this time will be different. So please visit thespcs.com right now, and together we can achieve our mission of an equal opportunity starvation nation. Thank you.
Oh, he's a genius.
That's so good.
Oh, he's
so
a
good.
genius.
I just realized how bad I am at this sometimes, and I'm like I'm pretty creative, but damn it, that was so good. And I'm like, I could do that after I saw someone else do it. I love it. This is where we need like 2 or 3 people, because this is why I'm so excited for Damani to come out, because Damani and I will do shit like this. But I need someone. I need another creative person with me outside of you and outside of Leroy and outside of Amy. Like I want like 6 or 7 high-end minds to get together and do shit like this. I'll be putting that up on the site. We were talking about the straits and the state of conflict. Let's look at this. You're going to see some of the reasons why. Understand this. You guys are all worried. First of all, oil went down today. I think it went to $87. It dropped from like 120, 130, whatever it was at. So understand this. This is a temporary conflict. A lot of the oil from Iran doesn't doesn't even go to the U.S. or a lot of the European communities. It goes to China, so we don't give a shit about them. But the straits is the problem, and there's congestion. Well, they're now going out without transponders. So if they're not using transponders, it takes a higher end of radar capability to target acquisition these. And if they're not squawking with IFF, they don't know whether they're friendly or foe. And trust me, a lot of these Iranian terrorist groups and IRGC don't want to hit the wrong type of vehicles because if they do, then they're going to get quashed by countries that they don't want involved in this. So here's this.
Saudi Defense Ministry says it has intercepted 4 drones launched toward the Sheba oil field. This comes as Iran is maintaining its retaliatory attacks against U.S. and Israeli targets, as well as some of its Gulf neighbors. Meanwhile, the UAE is freezing Iranian assets, and more American weaponry is moving into the area. Correspondent Lucas Tomlinson is live tonight from Dubai. Good evening, Lucas.
Good evening, Brett. A third U.S. Navy aircraft carrier strike group is getting ready to cross the Atlantic and join the war against Iran. The U.S. says George H.W. Bush has completed her workups just off the coast of Cape Hatteras.
I'll let you guys know that George W. Bush is a temporary solution to a permanent problem. So the reason why they're bringing in the Bush is it's pretty simple because Gerald Ford's been on deployment for 11 months. That's a long time. And most sailors will tell you 11 months is not normal. Now, if you're on a sub crew, you can go under for 6 months or so. But for a carrier out 11 months, it's a long time. Now, I'm not saying it's the longest. Carrier groups have been out for 17 months at a time. But that's a long time. So they are probably going to bring in the Bush, fix the Straits situation, leave the carrier group, and then probably leave a sub behind and maybe a couple guided missile cruisers, and then let her come back to port and, refit and let some people get some shore time and get some R&R. You don't want sailors that strung out. 17 months, 11 months at sea, not fucking good. They need to hit a port. They need to get their dicks whipped and their dicks dipped. And everyone,
balls wrong.
Yes, balls wrong.
Bells.
No balls. Everyone needs to see some short time. So let's let these guys get some time off.
Whoops, I hit the wrong button, but there we go.
Oh, Chuck Peterson. Thanks, Chucky. 398.07. We appreciate you, Chuck. Thanks, brother. Air defense systems. Real quick, we're going to flying through these last, and then we're out of here. So I want to explain something. I talked about this earlier, and I was trying to help you guys understand some things. So let's say in Iran, they go ahead and launch 10 missiles, okay? This graphic will help us kind of pick up this. So they're going to try to hit Israel, and they're going to launch it over several different areas. So they're going to use their medium range and short range missile systems from Iran into Israel. But it's super difficult. The reason why is immediately they have to go over Iraqi airspace, and Iraqi airspace has the Patriot 2 system. So the Patriot 2 system is going to intercept and take out a few of these. They're extremely lethal, and they do an excellent job. At that point, they're going to go and hit into Syria and Jordan. Now, Syria is not necessarily going to help us because we don't have any U.S.-based batteries there because we know the conflicts we have with Syria. But they are going to try to intercept. But what this does is that they do have early warning radar in Syria and in Jordan. So it's going to allow F-35 and other intercept aircraft from Israel's bases to go ahead and launch and try to intercept some of these systems, these weapon systems coming in. Then you have Patriot 2 in Jordan, which they are going to engage and try to hit. They also have some other systems available outside of Patriot 2. So now we're down to like 3 missile systems. Well, this is where you have the aircraft carrier in the Med is going to go ahead and try to interdict and get some of these. Then Israel is going to have David Sling. They're going to use Iron Beam. They're going to use Iron Dome and other systems to go ahead and try to hit them. The Arrow system, the THAAD system, Patriot system, David Sling, Iron Dome, Iron Beam, etc. And this is why it's so freaking difficult to hit Israel with these weapon systems. But remember, the one thing that they are susceptible to is Hezbollah, which is to the north, which is in Lebanon, and Beirut, which is that northern area there, which has the ability to hit Israel and Tel Aviv And multiple redundancies will take place. You'll see a lot of them coming from the east, and then as soon as those weapon systems engage from Iron Dome, David Sling, THAAD system, you'll get Hezbollah throw a coordinated attack that will get through, and this is usually what's been hitting Israel, Jerusalem, and Tel Aviv, is the impact from the Hezbollah to the north. Here is another quick video. We don't need to do this. Sleeper cells are active. I already talked to you guys about this. Be aware, be frosty. There's already been like 12 different Islamic, Arabic / ISIS wannabe group activities in the United States. This is going to continue. You have not seen any major cell activity. That could happen. Iran has put out warning signals. They put out communications that have been intercepted by the NSA stating that they're using signals to activate sleeper cells. You're going to want to be frosty. You're going to want to pay attention. Here is the CRAM system. A lot of people have no idea what this is. This is one system you never hear about. It's really a bummer. I showed it to Ethan and Olivia last night, and they both like jaws hit the floor. You don't hear about this CRAM on the news. CRAM uses 20 millimeter cannons. It has an amazing cyclic rate. It can do like 4,500 rounds per minute. It is an incredible, devastating air defense system. And I've actually got one of the 20 millimeter rounds down here, but I'll give you an idea. It's like that large. They're massive, and this is what it sounds like. It is the coolest effing thing in the world. It sounds like the aliens in War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise.
Oh, I never thought of that. It does.
Yeah, this is what it sounds like. Listen to this. And it sounds as cool as that, and it will wake your ass up. I don't care how close you are. If you're in a city, it is so loud because it just reverberates in the concrete jungle, and it is effing loud. And this is right in Iraq, and this is right over the city. So you're going to hear these massive, massive sounds. I have another one for you. You're wondering, why is it red? Is it a laser? No, that's tracer. And that's actually for the system to go ahead and track where the rounds are going at night. And it can actually use that to move in on a target, lead a target heavier, but every like 10th round is a tracer round, which goes ahead and lights up and creates that beautiful frickin' pray and spray. But it's not pray and spray. It's actually very accurate and very deadly, and it overwhelms with multiple independent munitions heading towards a target. And here is the CRAM again. If you haven't heard it live, I'm telling you, man, it will, like, Bubba's like Freedom Woody. Yes. And lastly, people were saying, well, why is Ukraine charging us? Go ahead, baby. Kat Alkire donated $10, brought it up to 40807. Thank you, Kat. Love this show. Matt, Olivia, and the Dumbs feeling blessed. Well, thank you, Kat. We love you too. Here is, people are like, well, why is Ukraine charging the United States for these weapon systems? First of all, listen, Ukraine has created something very cool, and these are designed to hunt and kill drone systems with a handheld, very much similar to like a shoulder mounted firing system, like a Stinger, but these are very easily deployable. They use multiple acquisition targeting systems as thermal imaging. They use radio acquisition. They use a broadcast like a KH band or a Bluetooth band or a standard radio frequency. They can also use sound decibel emitters. So the high pitch of a drone, it'll actually sync and find it. This is a great targeting system. And these are also very cool, which are drone killers, and they're a defensive countermeasure for drones. And I figure you guys haven't seen these used, so I figured I'd show you what the Ukraine is providing for the United States and Israel to HK some of these drones. Watch this. What's better than watching that once? Twice. Here you go. Enjoy. Coming to a theater and village, and hopefully these will be used to help arm Iranian counterinsurgents and supply them with some countermeasures to drones. So it's pretty damn cool. Folks, Thomas Shin donated $5 just because you guys are worth it.
Thank you very much.
Folks, I hope you appreciate this. What happens if this continues? I don't imagine it will. I've spoken to a lot of people. Leroy and I both talked to you. There's really no reason for this to continue. This was to remove weapon systems from Iran, and now you can apply sanctions. Iran's not going to move into Iraq. They're not going to have a ground war. They don't have any infrastructure. They don't have any intelligence. They don't have any communications. They don't have any air support. They don't have any naval support. They're not going to invade anybody. So the only thing they could do is create harm on civilians inside Iran. And if they do that, well, they're going to get punished for that. The biggest thing I think of is we need to supply weaponry, supply arms to Iranians and let them do their job. What are we doing?
She wrote a poem about Charlie Kirk. She wanted to read it on the show. So, by the way, you need to give me more than 0.25, 2/5 of a second to reply.
It's really close to like 10.
Hold the mic.
It's really close to 10, and I didn't
We need Ethan.
want. Okay.
Ethan!
Holy twins. It's really close to 10.
Put your headphones on.
It's really close to 10, and I didn't want like the show to end. So I
understand. Well, we're going to go too, but you could have done this. They could have done this when we were trying to raise money, because this is always good. Can you come over here and filter your sister, focus her, do whatever? I don't care. I'm tired. Sleepy.
Daylight savings time sucks when you get older.
It does. I hate it. Thanks for walking in front of us, bud. That's
as he continues to walk
such ass. Iran's cooked. You guys, yeah. All right. So Hayden wanted to read a poem.
Just go out that door, dude.
So we're gonna let her.
Stay in.
We're gonna let her read.
There's-
Hayden, shut up for a second.
Okay.
I'm gonna introduce you. Hayden is my daughter, and she's annoying, but I love her. She's going to read a poem that she wrote for Charlie Kirk. So go ahead and take it away, Hayden.
Okay, so there's context behind this. This is a sestina poem, so that means there's 6 stanzas and a 3-line ending, and each stanza has 6 lines. Okay, this is really important. Each stanza has 6 lines, and at the end of each line, there are 6 words in the orders of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then in a different stanza, the order shuffles at the end. Okay, this is like actually really important for the context of the poem.
Like, really, don't get mad at me.
So
she called you dude.
It's about. I did not call him dude.
You did not. She called me dude. She'd be across the room.
So this poem, there are 6 stanzas, and each one takes place from a different person's point of view. The first one is Charlie. The second one is Erica. The third one is his daughter. The fourth one is the person who was asking him the question when he got shot. The fifth one is a security guard, and the 6th one is me. And then the last 3-line one is just an overall summary.
How long is this poem?
Pretty long.
Okay, let's get everybody on screen now that we've heard it, and let's go.
Okay. The tent doesn't cover the sun. It shines on my shirt. I look to the crowd and smile, not knowing it would be my last. The cross on my neck weighs heavy. Another college, another day. I thank God. Something above me makes a sound. Boom. The last thing I'll ever hear are screams. I smile at my husband with joy. The crowd screams. What America is, freedom, is written on his shirt. He picks up his microphone. Boom. I take a breath, and I watch him take his last. I fall on my knees, and I cry out to God. My heart has never felt so heavy. The sun shines, and the bows in my hair are heavy. My ears hurt from the happy screams. I toy with my necklace and imagine God. My shoes are covered from the pink ruffles on my shirt. Someone starts clapping, and I join in last. I smile at my daddy. Boom. Counting or not counting gang violence, boom. Someone jumps on me. They're very heavy, and I look up and I realize that this day is Charlie's last. I can only hear screams. Blood covers his shirt, and for the first time in my life, I pray to God. My job was to save him. I couldn't rely on God. Those were my thoughts when I heard that boom. Before I could reach him, blood soaked his shirt. Suddenly, I couldn't move. My feet were too heavy. Someone, I think his wife, screams, and I know that this day on the job will be my last. I sit in my English class. This chapter is my last. Across the room, I hear, oh my God. Someone turns on a video. I hear screams. The clip restarts. Boom. My heart drops. The weight of the world is too heavy. I watch as the man I've admired for years dies with blood soaking his shirt. People around the world wear his shirt. We carry on his days, even though September 10th was his last. The criticism is heavy, but our Savior carries us through, God. We will remember the day that we heard that boom and those screams.
Wow.
It's pretty good, Hayden. It's very
Thank you.
powerful.
Yeah.
That's heavy. You need to record that.
I already did. I have it recorded already.
Good. Well, then maybe do a cut for it. You know, get in front of the mic and let me record it because that's good. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing that with us, honey.
Yeah,
That takes a lot of courage.
I felt like I should.
You should, and it's good.
Yeah. Thank you.
Did you hear that the Colorado Avalanche got Nazem Kadri?
Oh my gosh. Guys, this is all he's been talking about. We'll be having a serious conversation. It'll be like, the Avalanche got Kadri, though. And I'm like, oh okay. This happened days ago.
We beat Minnesota and Dallas.
I'm very happy for you.
We love you. It's
great.
very, very good. Thank you, baby.
Yes.
Thank you. Very good.
Thanks for joining us. We always love it when you do.
Yep.
Well, that's my daughter, and she's amazing, and she's fun, and she's got pretty much straight A. She got a 99 on her trigonometry test today, and she says she sucks at trig. She's like, I suck at everything. She's doing great. Doing very well in school. She's in honors. How's that AP history?
I'm actively doing AP World right now.
Where's it at? What's the grade? How come that can't... 80? Should have an A in AP World History. With your father, you should have an A.
See, I know all the curriculum. It's just he grades the writing really, really hard.
That's because you have to know the content if you want to be able to write on it. Leave. Yeah. Good job on your poetry. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous.
Love you.
I have an A in math. I have A's in every single class except.
How's creative writing?
Good night,
Good.
Hayden. What
Love
are you doing here now? What do you want?
Why? Oh my gosh.
I know what he's going to do. I know my son. I know what he's going to do.
The Avalanche got Nazem Kadri.
I told you. I just knew what he was going to do. Little shit. Avalanche got Nazem Kadri. All right. Liv, take us out of here.
Oh my gosh.
That was fun. I had a good time with Kohler. He was a good interview. It was very fun.
Yeah, he was. It was a very good interview.
Take us out of here. It's a late night tonight, but you knew that Monday was going to be late.
Yes, tomorrow it should be you and Leroy.
As long as he's feeling better.
As long as he's feeling better, I cannot come on tomorrow.
You're not coming on tomorrow, baby.
Okay.
I don't care. Even if he can't be on, you're not coming on tomorrow. Okay. You were on all week. You need a break. You've been busting hump. So I appreciate it. Ethan is getting so tall. It's crazy. And his voice is getting deep. It's scary. He's turning into a man.
And he wears like size 8 shoes now. We have to order his cleats for baseball.
Yeah.
It's just...
Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching the Don't Unfriend Me Show. See you tomorrow, Tuesday. Please do me a favor. Throw a like, share. Go get some coffee. Go get a hat. Go get a shirt. Go get something. Yep. Go to the Don't Unfriend Me Show.
Congratulations to the winners. Reach out to me, Olivia at the Dumb Show.
Yeah, I think Tom already did. So please reach out if you won tonight. That was Kat. That was Tammy, right?
No, it was Kat. It was Tom and Aaron.
And Aaron. Thank you. Yep. War shower. And then 2 bags of coffee, 1, and then a jacket. We'll get that jacket ordered in April. So whoever wins in March, it's about a month behind, but the reason why is because of build time and order time and all of that. But we did order jackets today. They should be here in the next 4 days, and then we'll ship them out. So you guys should have them by the 15th or 17th, right around there. Appreciate your patience. Takes a little bit to get the jackets in, but we're getting them done. See you guys tomorrow. God bless and appreciate you. See ya.
Metal Outfit. This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.